probably a little bit of like, oh, I don't need college to like follow my dreams. And like back then I didn't even know what my dreams were, what my passions were, what I really liked doing. And that's how I found out my passion for photography. He gave me my first film camera, and I just really like going out and exploring and like finding new things to like take a picture of that like no one's seen before.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 41 of the Andrew Deitch podcast. I'm talking really quietly because I am in a hurricane shelter in Bradenton, Florida, believe it or not. No lie. I'm recording this in a closet, and it's kind of crazy down here, but I have scoured the building to find a quiet place to record, but this is the best I can do. I came down here a few days ago with my dad. When we headed down on Thursday, everybody in Florida was headed up north to Georgia, but we were headed down to the Tampa area. Originally, the storm was projected to go right up the East Coast, and we wouldn't be seeing the worst of the storm, but as of right now, the storm has redirected, and now the path is basically headed right for us. It's supposed to hit us later tonight, so hopefully everything will be all right, but I'm in an elementary school that they have converted into a shelter. Lots of families and elderly people here. I'm curious to know if this is the first podcast to ever be recorded in a hurricane shelter. I'd be curious to know. But if this is your first time joining me, welcome to my show. Every episode, I have an awesome conversation with an interesting person. And today, my guest is my friend, Sarah Martinez. And Sarah is a writer. She's a blogger, photographer, videographer. She's really passionate about environmental sustainability and animal cruelty. And we talked about all kinds of crazy stuff on this podcast. She recently launched her blog, viewsfromtheshutter.com. And if you're the blog reading type, I would encourage you guys to check it out. Lots of cool stuff on there, like pictures from her adventures, tips and tricks, as well as motivating and inspiring content. And just a warning, I definitely drank too much coffee before recording this episode. And I was definitely in rare form on this one and probably talked way too much. So if I was annoying, pay no attention to me. Just listen to Sarah. She's a lot smarter than me. But seriously, this is a super fun episode. We laughed a lot. And without any further ado, please welcome my friend, Sarah Martinez.
My heart, it's beating so fast. Help me.
All right, Sarah, what's up?
Not much. I am a photographer. I'm a blogger. I'm a do-it-all kind of gal.
Boom.
You know.
Right into it.
Yep.
I like it. Well, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, so I already had your boyfriend on the podcast. Good old Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
What up, Tyler? If you decide to listen to this, I'm just kidding. I'm sure he'll listen to it. But yeah, and shout out Trey Small. Got the Brulee jacket on deck.
Yep. I wish y'all could see it, but maybe I'll post a picture of it if y'all follow me.
It's actually dope. Yeah, I'm digging the jacket. It's awesome. But anyways, enough with the shout outs. This is about Sarah. Cool. So I like to start off a lot of my podcasts with sharing your background story kind of, because don't worry, we'll make noise with the caps anyways. Yeah, if you hear this noise, it's because we're staying hydrated, yo. Drinking water.
Stay hydrated, fam. Y'all
Seriously, stay hydrated out there, y'all. It's tough drinking water, but
can't be out here thirsty.
Someone's got to do it. And also, yeah. Anyways, so I was going to go down a rabbit hole about water, but we can talk about water another time. So, one thing I like to do with my podcast is when I'm talking to somebody, for example, with you, I actually haven't even known you that long. So it's kind of cool. I know a little bit oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. I know a little bit.
This is the learning process for you.
But it's kind of fun because I get to know more about my friends and hear their story and stuff like that. So also, if you've listened to the podcast, you've probably heard this a bunch of times, but it's really easy to look at somebody and just okay, this is Sarah, and I know Sarah now, but I have no idea what Sarah was when she was a kid or whatever. So give me a little bit of background. Where were you born?
So I'm originally from New York. I lived there till I was about, I think, 12. Yeah.
New York City?
And no. It's funny because ever since I moved here, everyone assumed that. And I lived more north, kind of like, not necessarily a rural area, but more suburban for sure. So I've lived in suburban life my whole entire life. And it was in Orange County.
Orange County,
really
New York?
Boring, yeah.
That's
Isn't
funny.
that funny? Because I remember, like, watching...
Orange County?
No, I remember, like, Orange County was where Laguna Beach was, and I used to watch that when I was little, which was fucking weird. Like, that is such a random thing to watch when you're, like, 10.
Dude, TV, like, makes you grow up. You learn a lot of stuff on the TV, which is messed up.
And then I learned about, like, how there's, like, counties or whatever, and then, like, ours was called Orange County, and I was like, that's weird. But
Dope.
I'm originally from
Laguna
there.
Beach?
Right? Exactly. I was like, dang, this is nothing like what it looks like over there. And speaking of California, I just came back from a trip, and I stayed in Santa Monica, me and Tyler, and we were staying with a good friend and all that, and it was so awesome. They have happy hour, which is really nice. They don't really have too much of that over here.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like someone downstairs listening to music super loud. But hey, it's all good.
Are you going to be able to hear it?
Maybe. Isn't that like obnoxiously
that's like how,
loud?
No, but that's how loud my dad like watches movies, and I'm like, damn, I'm trying to study. I have my headphones in, and it's just like blaring through.
He's probably like watching a music video or something. No, but anyways, so you were born in New York, grew up there, Orange County, but not the Laguna Beach, Orange County.
No, and not the fun part of New York either, so it was boring.
Cool. And where are your parents from?
My mother's from Puerto Rico.
And
my dad is from Manhattan.
Nice. That's really cool. So obviously growing up with a Puerto Rican mom, that's pretty dope.
Yes, cooking is really good, but it makes you fat. And it's usually a lot of meat, beans, and some sort of starch. So it's always like rice and beans and some sort of meat, usually. So
I feel you. Yeah, like, it's interesting because I was just talking about how I met this girl that's from Puerto Rico like 2 seconds ago. And I actually was listening to a podcast like a few days ago of this investor dude who recently moved to Puerto Rico because of the tax situation. Because basically, like, when you live in, like, for example, we live in Georgia, you have to pay federal tax and state tax. But in Puerto Rico, you don't have to pay any state tax. You're only paying, like, the federal tax. Okay. So you're not getting taxed twice, essentially. And, like, there's a lot of people that want Puerto Rico to be a state. And this dude's like, no. Like, yes, it would be kind of good to have representation because in Puerto Rico, you can't vote, but you're still a U.S. citizen. But it would, like, destroy a bunch of the economy's already bad, and it would just make things way worse because right now Puerto Rico has its own national debt kind of or something like that. But if you became a state, you would still retain that debt, and then also you would add on to every Puerto Rican citizen the U.S. debt as well, which is weird. It was kind of hard to explain, but like it made sense when this dude was talking about it. But anyways, but yeah, I've been like actually, oddly enough, like learning a lot more about Puerto Rico recently.
Right, yeah. You should actually go, or if anyone listening to the podcast wants to go, definitely check out San Juan. And a couple years ago, I actually did a food tour there, and it was amazing. They take you to like 8 different places. You try like food, drinks, and it's like a lot of food. Like at first, they kind of just give you a little bit, and you're like, oh, are all the tours gonna be like this? Nah. And then like halfway to the end, they give you like way bigger portions, and I was like so full halfway through it. I was like, I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, they gotta start you off small, kind of like a wine tour, and you're like, oh, let's get drunk, and then by the end of it, you're like, bleh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was really cheap too. It was like, I think it was like a little bit over $25 a person.
That's dope.
And that's not that bad. And you get like, they teach you about the history of San Juan and certain landmarks and stuff like that. It's really cool.
And like for people listening, if you're an American citizen, like you can just go to Puerto Rico. Like
no passport. No passport.
You don't even need a passport.
At all.
You can just go there and hang out at the beach.
You'll have a fiesta, and the drinking age is 18. I went there when I was under 21.
Whoa, the drinking age is 18.
Yep. So all you listeners out there that are 18, you can go and you can start drinking now if you go to Puerto Rico.
That means I can drink.
And I'm a horrible influence for saying that. Shut up.
No, but dude, like, in other countries, alcohol is viewed so much differently.
It's like, I remember someone talking about how Italian families literally just, like, drink wine when they eat dinner.
Yeah.
Like, that's
table
just, like,
wine.
a norm.
You just drink wine. Yeah.
Almost like if you drink a Coke with
No, like,
your dinner.
legit. So I was an au pair in Italy 2 summers ago, so I lived there for, like, 3 months. And at the lunch table, we would have wine. Like, and it was, like, totally normal. We would have wine, like, lunch and dinner, like, every day. And after lunch, you'd always have espresso too, because you're like slightly intoxicated. So you'd have an espresso to like perk you back up after being like wine drunk in the middle of the day.
That sounds like so dehydrating. I don't know if I could do that.
Bruh, okay, and that's another thing is they don't drink, at least this family I stay with, they did not drink nearly the amount of water I was used to drinking. Because typically Americans drink a lot more water than the rest of the world, which is kind of odd. But I mean, drinking water is really good for you, so whatever. And people will say like drinking too much will like flush out, you know, beneficial vitamins and nutrients in your system, but whatever. I like to drink a lot of water.
Yeah, it's good for you.
But yeah, like I would just be so thirsty there all the time. Really? Yeah, and also we were eating
Think about drinking a bunch of wine and coffee. I would
and
too.
then during lunch we would also eat like tons of ham that was like super salty.
Oh God! So
Yeah,
it's
like-
your sodium and like dehydration intake was just like
Yes, so stupid high. And the housekeeper would always cook the meat with so much salt. Like one time, I couldn't even eat it. It was so salty. I was like so done. I was trying to like dilute it by eating this like zucchini. And it was like so freaking salty. I could not even muscle it down. But the bad thing was I was so hungry too, and I really wanted to eat it.
Oh no! But you were like, oh, I'm so hungry. Oh God! Oh,
Yeah, and the other thing is the family would always like cook extra because they knew I ate a lot. So they were like, Andrew, eat up, like finish up. We've got like three
eat
more.
up this salty platter.
We've got like 3 more pieces of pork. Like eat it, and I'm like, no, not that hungry, even though I was like starving. But anyways,
Ma'am, can I have a glass of water?
yeah, legit. And so this is like super bougie, but this family had a what is it called? A butler, a freaking butler, yo. And he would legit come around and like fill up your glass with water and stuff. So he would always have to come around me and fill up my water, dude. Like. And I've talked about this on the podcast before, but definitely that guy totally hated me. Cause like, I was working for the family too, but I was being treated like more like a family member. And this dude.
So you're drinking all the water and he kept having to refill it.
And wine and like everything. And he's just like, this fucking American guy. Like, I'm sure he was thinking that. But I tried to be as nice as possible to that dude. Cause like, I was kind of in the same boat as him. I was just working for the family. He was from Sri Lanka. So like, it was just a weird situation, to be honest. And, like, the parents would be gone, and he'd still be, like, the guy, like, serving all the food and stuff. And so it's just me and these 2 kids and, like, a butler.
And so it would almost be like,
kind
of like you're at your own private restaurant 24/7.
Yes, it was creepy. And then also he'd be like, do you want an espresso? Like, after lunch and have to, like, prepare my coffee for me and stuff. He's like, do you want cream and sugar? And I'm just like, oh, my God, dude, I could do this if you want me to. Like, I could prepare it. You just have to show me how. Like, I don't mind doing it. It was pretty weird.
Dude, that's so funny. Okay, honestly, to be quite honest, I don't know if I was ever, like, really, really, really rich. I would never have, like, a chef all the time. Like, I would want my kids to kind of, like, be independent and make their own food, as well as, like, I like cooking myself. Like, cooking is actually one of my favorite hobbies alongside of photography and all that other stuff. Like,
yeah. Let's get back to you, because I'm just, like, talking. I'm
it's
such
okay.
an annoying person.
We're having a great conversation.
Yes. And I drank a lot of coffee earlier before I went to the gym.
So you're like,
I'm like, let's do this podcast. No. But one last thing I was going to say about that is, like, I have thought about that a lot, too. And it's weird because the culture over there, everyone has a housekeeper. Not everyone has, like, a butler.
Really?
But, like, most people have, like, a Filipino lady that lives in their house that, does all their stuff.
Was the majority of the people that, like, you're talking about, were they more, like, high class, or was that, like, middle class?
Yeah, high class. But, like, for example, we were living in Milan.
they lived in Milan, so they had this like really nice apartment. Wasn't big by any means, but for an apartment standards, pretty big. And I'm sure it was an expensive apartment, but it was right smack dab in the middle of the city. So I'm sure like rent there is pretty expensive. But like this house that the butler was at was like one of their like family houses that they would like vacation at or like go on the weekends to. Because like what typically people do, kind of like in New York City, I think people do this a lot, especially if they're more wealthy and they can afford to do this, is like they might have a house out in the countryside or at the beach or something. So on the weekends, they work all week in New York City and they're like, I gotta get out of the city, and they'll go to their house in like, wherever.
Okay.
Somewhere so that they can relax and have more room and play outside and all that stuff. And then on the week they go back. But anyways, I've thought about that too. And I don't know if I would ever, if I was super wealthy, like have someone live in my house and work for me. But I can appreciate the concept because like sometimes like, for example, with this podcast, I'm thinking like, I could like hire someone right now to like edit my stuff so then I don't have to. But then I'm kind of like, well, I'm not making money yet. And like, it's just going to add to my expenses. But it will give me more time freedom because I'm spending a lot of time doing that stuff.
So almost like if your podcast did blow up, then you'd be like, oh, okay, so yeah,
I
maybe
plan
I
on
might
eventually
get
adding,
a chef or whatever so I can continue working.
Yeah, because like, for example, like I like to meal prep and stuff, but sometimes it takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
And so I might not necessarily have a chef that lives in my house, but maybe I would like hire someone to do all my meal prepping, aka my buddy Adam, Meal Prep Poppy. He has a meal prepping service. So yeah, like if I was low on time and high on cash, that's I feel like the option.
Okay.
I
feel that. Yeah. Because there's actually a thing called like the 10,000 hour rule, and it's like
Malcolm Gladwell.
I wasn't sure about the guy. I follow Levi Maestro on Instagram. He's very inspiring, and he's like a motivational speaker, and so is his girlfriend. They're really cool.
Nice.
But he was saying, basically if you were to have 10,000 hours within like a year or something like that.
Well, the principle is from a book called it's called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And it's a really interesting book. You should read it because that's where it all comes from, this dude named Malcolm Gladwell. And basically the idea is if you can spend 10,000 hours doing something, you've reached the pro level. Like you're a master of it. So like if you want to get really good at blank, do it for 10,000 hours and you're probably going to be a master or whatever. Like photography, do it for 10,000 hours. You'll be a master photographer, blah, 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 blah. The only caveat I have with that, I watched this video by this dude, Gary Vaynerchuk. Have you heard of him before? He's pretty interesting. No. But one thing that he meant, because I totally was like super bought into that. I'm like, 10,000 hours, let's go, baby. Podcast, 10,000 hours. And like, but the one thing that he mentioned was like, you got to know yourself too. Because like, I think like knowing who you are at the end of the day is super important. Because like, I could be like, yo, I'm going to play in the NBA. All I got to do is put in the 10K hours, yo, on the court. But there's no way I'm ever playing in the NBA because of my height and my build and all that, So there's certain things that are limited with that. But like, as far as most things, I would totally agree with the 10,000 hours. But it's all about like self-awareness too. Like if you're a midget, like there's not any possible way that you're going to be like an Olympic athlete at most things, Well, I guess you would qualify for Special Olympics, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. I don't know. Don't
include that. Please make that off the record. You're trying to get all the midgets to hate on you. You're trying to get the midgets to hate on you.
Dude, I'm sorry. If you're a little person, I love you and I respect you. And if I'm just trying to break it to you, you're probably not going to get in the NBA, but
it might be possible if LeBron is strapped to your freaking leg.
Exactly, yo. Like if you somehow swing that deal, then go for it.
So imagine LeBron with a duct tape midget to his hand.
Oh my God. This is good. This is good. This is quality content right here. I love this.
Whether you post it or not, you can go back and be like,
oh, I'm
having a bad day and listen to it.
I'm posting this. So anyways, but yeah, like I totally agree with the 10,000 hour thing though. As far as you also have to pair it with self-awareness because like self-awareness is huge, Like you gotta know yourself. You got to feel yourself.
Like, I know I'm a lazy piece of shit that likes beer and bad things, and I just continue to binge do that, and then I'm like, oh God, I hate myself.
No.
I work out.
Not self-awareness like that, but like, you know, like for example.
I know, I was exaggerating.
Yeah. But I think as you like get older too.
No, you begin to really just like mature and like learn about what works for you and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Like.
In so many different ways.
Uh-huh. And like you can figure out, like for example, like, you know, okay, I'm having this problem. Like for me, it was always like I didn't want to get out of bed, and I like boiled it down to like I kind of just don't want to get out of bed because my bed is like super comfy and I'm warm. So then I started like I was always like sleeping like with no shirt on and like no socks on. So I'm like, oh, if I get out, I'm gonna be super cold. So then I was like, what if I just slept with socks on and a shirt on when I got out of bed? I wouldn't be cold. And then that like totally helped my problem. You know, like weird stuff like that. It's
right?
like
Okay.
I kind of like realized like, okay. It's not like that I'm just super lazy. Yeah, it's like those little tiny tweaks that you can fix. But anyways, let's get back to your story, because we went from New York to midgets strapped to LeBron James's arm real quick.
Hand.
Yeah. So anyways, your mom's from Puerto Rico.
Yes.
And obviously, she taught you Spanish?
No.
Whoa.
So actually, and it's like kind of embarrassing. I'm sure any of you Hispanics out there that don't know Spanish or don't seem, I guess, like quote unquote Spanish enough. So when my mom came to the US, she didn't know any English. And as soon as she came here, she basically started like kindergarten, and she was just like really like intimidated and scared and like didn't know how to like raise her hand and like tell the teacher that she needs to go to the bathroom, and so that really freaked her out. And then once she learned English fluently, she was basically like, I'm gonna teach my kids English first and then Spanish. And she successfully did that with my brother. But then with me, I don't know, I guess being like the diva that I was when I was like 9, 10 years old, and she tried teaching me Spanish, like I didn't want to. I thought it was lame, and I didn't want to do it, but I really regret it now because there's tons of job opportunities that you can have because of being bilingual.
Especially in Georgia.
Yeah, and
there's such a huge Hispanic population.
That was actually how my mom got a job twice. She was able to like transfer to Walmart. She was able to become a, what do you call it, receptionist at a dentist office because there was a lot of Spanish clientele and they wanted someone to translate. And yeah, I mean, when I go to Puerto Rico, I kind of picked up on it and I was able to like speak a little bit more than now. But since I haven't been and I haven't seen my family members and I'm not in a place that speaks only Spanish, like I've lost it.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
So wait, when did you end up in Georgia?
11 years ago this month, actually. My parents just wanted to move. New York was really expensive. Taxes were horrible. Like, cost of living was high, and they had family friends here. We had been here once before because my brother used to be in the Army. And there's a camp or fort around here.
The Fort Bragg?
I think Benning?
That sounds familiar. Fort Benning, we're going with it.
I think.
That sounds actually very familiar.
Yeah, so
Fort Benning.
We had been down, I mean, I was really young. I hardly remember it, but I remember my parents.
Younger brother, older brother?
Older. I have 4 half-siblings.
Gotcha.
And they're all older than me. But yeah, older, and he was in the Army, and I remember as a family trip, like my aunts, cousins, nephews, like we all came down to like watch him graduate or whatever. So
that's cool.
Yeah, and my parents really liked it. So Georgia's always been on their mind.
Georgia?
Yeah.
Georgia. That was very cheesy. But anyways, I liked it. So you moved down to Georgia 11 years ago, so that means you went to high school here?
Yep, I went to Mill Creek.
Dope. Okay, never mind. I was thinking I just did a podcast with a girl who went to Mill Creek, but she went to Collins, so my bad. Okay, so Mill Creek. That was a pretty new high school, right?
Yeah, and our graduating class was like, I think at least 1,000 people, and I remember we did it outside in like heat in the stadium, and we had to wear clothes underneath like our caps and gowns, which were super thick, and it just like trapped all the heat.
I'm just kidding.
I do not believe that for a second. But in a way, I kind of could see you being the kid that like just like streaks in front of the whole high school at graduation.
No, like it's weird because like I was definitely kind of a class clown sort of, but I never wanted to like embarrass like myself that hard. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's like a little too extreme. Like I could go into some other crazy stuff that other kids did, but like I feel like also if I was gonna do something like that, I would have to take it to such a level to try to top the other kids that were crazy at graduation. So I was just like, nah, I'm just gonna be chill.
Right. Okay. I feel that.
And also I was really, like, they were so strict about all this stuff at graduation.
I'm surprised I got away with wearing, I think, like, one of the things was, like, saying that you couldn't wear, like, it was, like, had really strict rules, like, for the girls, like, you can't wear this, you can't wear that, and I remember, like, one of them was, like, you can't wear, like, a body-tight dress, but I did anyways, but, like, it wasn't see-through or something, and they just...
Oh, weird.
They just, like, let me go, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Don't ever wear white to graduation because if it's outside, you'll sweat through it, and you'll get sweat stains on your armpits, and it's the worst.
Oh, goodness.
I had sweat stains on that dress. It was horrible.
That totally sucks. I will keep that in my memory banks. Next time I graduate, I will not wear a body-tight white dress.
Shut up.
No, but seriously, I didn't never graduate, so I might go back. But, nah, I won't. Who am I kidding? Okay, cool. So, was that, like, weird moving? Because, like, I've never moved. Like, I've always lived in Georgia.
So... Before I moved here, I was under the impression that, like, oh, the South, everyone's going to be a farmer or a hillbilly, and everyone's going to be riding tractors to schools and have farms with pigs and cows on it. Like, I'm not even kidding. I imagine my schoolmates in a line on tractors entering into school. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so weird. I'm going to be the only person with a car. And then... once I moved, I was like, damn, this is actually really normal and it's nice. And, like, I don't
Georgia's
know.
actually tight. Like, when people are like, so how's Atlanta? It's like, Atlanta is dope and the suburbs are dope.
Yeah, okay.
But, like, when you leave the suburbs, like, if you go, like, an hour north, an hour south, an hour east, an hour west, you're like...
There's nothing. Mm-hmm. You're in the sticks.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You are in the sticks for sure. But, so you moved in, so, like, what... I'm trying to do the math here. So you were like
11 years ago. It should have been
years ago, you're like
what?
12 or
no, it should have been 2000 and oh my God, I suck at math.
2006.
This is embarrassing.
2006.
Probably, yeah. I think I was like what, 12 or 11?
Yeah, something like that.
Because I'm 23 now.
Yeah.
I'm about to be
so you're
24
like
in January.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 2012. Or no, 2006.
And you were 12.
I graduated.
Math. It's okay. Yo, like, seriously, when you have to do math on the spot, it's so much harder.
Like, could you imagine being on Jeopardy? I'd be like...
Yo, okay, so I work at this escape game place, and so, like, people are under pressure all the time.
Oh my God, they're probably like...
And at the end of one of the games, there's, like, really simple math you have to do, and people always screw it up because they're under so much pressure. They're like, 15 minus 7, 3... Like, I'm dead serious. People, like, freak out about the math. And then at the end, they're always like, oh, that game was super fun, but I didn't know I was going to have to do math. And I'm like, bro, it was like 15 minus 7. It's really not hard. You know? But I'm dead serious. Like, people freak out because they're under pressure. So, like, right now, you were like, I
was like, I graduated in 2012. That's when I moved to Georgia.
Exactly. But people can definitely relate to that because you definitely know that there was one point where you had to do some math real fast and you're just like, your brain has to, like, shift into math mode. You're, like, in talking mode, and then you have to, like, totally think about numbers, and you're just like,
if it makes anyone in their college career feel any better, it still takes a lot out of me to, like, speak up, like, in front of the class every now and then, so...
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that's something you'll never go out of, or it's going to take a long time, but don't feel bad.
Well, one thing that was interesting, when I was in Spain, my host dad, he told me, like, one thing he always respected about Americans is, like, because he stumbled upon my YouTube videos, and he might be even listening to this right now. What's up? He stumbled upon my YouTube videos and stuff, and he was like, dude, you're like awesome on YouTube. Like, why don't you do more videos? I'm like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, and he's like, one thing I've always admired about Americans is like, they always seem like they're really good at public speaking. Like, and I was like, that's really interesting because we kind of are taught that in school. You know, like you have to like go up and like give a presentation. He said like during school, he never had to like go in front of the class and give a presentation or anything like that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't know if that's pretty typical for Spanish people or like that was just something that happened to him.
Yeah. But if you think of like, I know this is like super trippy to think about, and I don't know if you want this on your podcast.
I'm going hella deep. Let's go.
Okay, so what if like the reason that they do a bunch of like public speaking and like speaking up in front of the class, like what if that is why like America becomes so powerful because they get like young people to be trained to public speak, and so you know how to like direct like a big group of people to like leaning towards some sort of a view.
Yeah. See,
similar
like,
resolution. I don't know.
My thing though is like I feel like a lot of what the school system is kind of training you to be as an employee though. So like on certain things, like as an employee, you are gonna have to like speak up and stuff.
Okay.
But like on the other hand, like a lot of school is kind of like sit down, shut up, and do what you're told, sort of. You know. So like like speaking up sometimes is good, but like if you're causing a lot of times the teacher kind of views it as like I'm the teacher here. If a good teacher will let the kind of spotlight shine on other people that are like adding to the conversation. Okay. But like sometimes the teacher is just kind of like, I'm the teacher, why are you like talking to the class?
Yeah, like this is my time to shine, not yours.
Yeah, which is really like weirdly egotistical because like, bro, you're talking to kids, like chill out. I don't know, and maybe teachers sometimes have the mindset like, these kids don't know what they're talking about, they're just kids, so let me talk or whatever. I don't know. I could see, if I was a teacher, I would kind of have that mindset sometimes, Like if a kid was like trying to like be all like preachy to the class or something like guys.
Oh no, if someone's being a smart mouth, I'd be like, go to the corner, time out.
No, but I actually love working with kids because I think most of the time you just gotta let kids like do their thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously the kid's like disrupting the class, like, that's annoying and you just gotta, you gotta take care of that, but a lot of times it's like kids, like most of the time when you learn stuff as a kid, it's because you're like trying to learn something on your own.
Yeah, it was weird. That actually like brought up a weird memory. So the last time I was in Puerto Rico, I was actually with Tyler. The second to last time I was in Puerto Rico. And we went to a family member's house and there was like a young girl and they teach English and of course like grammatical Spanish in school. So she was like, the little girl was like practicing her English on me. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was like, that's cool. And she was like, ooh, cool. And she like, I think that was like her first time saying it and it was really funny. But like, she was like learning a lot of like the stuff that I was like saying that I guess could be like American slang or like, you know what I mean? Or just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the weird thing about learning a language in school is so weird because you don't actually learn how people talk. You're like a lot, especially in the way that they teach in America or the way I was taught it. Like, you learn all this vocab and all these like grammatical things. Like, when you're saying this word in the yo form, it's soy, like, and it's like, dude, that's not how people talk,
right. I remember learning that and then being friends with like different like Hispanic people. Like Spanish people have different dialect than Mexican people, and Mexican people have different dialect than Ecuadorian people and Venezuelan and so on. Like everyone's language is tweaked.
Totally.
In some sort of way or another, I guess.
Yeah, and that's another weird thing, like, when you're learning a language, I don't know, like when you're a baby, your parents aren't going like, they do say like, oh look, fire truck or whatever, but they'll teach you like phrases and stuff before they're just gonna like, I don't know, be like, this is how you say library or whatever.
You know what a direct object is, Jimmy?
Yeah. And it's like I think immersion is the best way to learn a language, like just to get like
just kind of throwing yourself out there.
Yeah, because I mean a lot of times you can just like point to stuff and like learn the stuff. There obviously is a benefit to knowing all the proper ways of saying things, but I would much rather like speak slightly incorrectly but get my point across than like be all caught up in like the tense and all that and not know actually how to form a sentence because I've got all this crap in my head, you know? I don't know. Like, I feel like if I'm listening to Spanish, I can understand at least a few words, but if I'm trying to form a sentence, my brain isn't, like, in that zone enough, so I really have to think about what I'm saying. Like, yo, tango. Like, you know, like I'm really having to slow it down.
No, I'm actually taking, I'm still taking the, what do you call it? Required courses in college, and I'm doing biology and then Spanish too. And I took Spanish 1 like probably like a year and a half ago, maybe 2.
Did you take Spanish in high school?
Years ago, yes. But like since I don't practice it since
exactly.
Once we got into the more like complicated stuff, I don't know. I was just kind of like, eh.
That's exactly how I bullshitted my way all the way through Spanish. Because also I was like, I live in America. I only gotta speak English. Little did I know I was gonna freaking go live in Spain for like a summer. You know what I mean? Like I feel like just such a jackass that I didn't take it seriously.
We all grow up out of the even women have jackass phases or bitch phases.
For sure.
So
This is very true.
I used to be an asshole.
Hey, it's okay. No, but seriously, like that's kind of interesting. Like in what ways were you an asshole?
Like I don't know. Like just I remember I was friends with a group of friends, and if they didn't like someone, then I wouldn't because they have their reasons, but I didn't have my like personal own, and I don't know, just very narrow-minded. But I know that just as anyone gets older and you go through like different experiences, like you basically grow from that and you're not as narrow-minded. You kind of expand your mind and you're able to like put yourself in other people's shoes or be more empathetic, sympathetic.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think both of those work. I don't really know the meaning of empathetic, but it sounds right.
I think I mixed them up.
No, but I think empathetic, it's like empathy.
Well, sympathy is sympathy, like, oh, you're crying and I feel bad for you, but I don't remember what empathy is.
It's like you feel what they're
feeling.
You're
emotional?
I don't know. I'll look it up later. I'm going to write it down.
I'm the worst.
Empathy. Look it up.
Empathy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I literally wrote it down.
He only has 2 things written, and
I wrote language.
Oh my God, over
there.
half an hour into it. So you haven't got any good notes. Good job.
No, I've taken excellent notes. Don't tell them. I'm just kidding. No, a lot of times during podcasts I don't take any notes, but sometimes I take notes because I'm like, I don't know. I have a feeling I'm going to have an idea.
So I feel like you and I have the same thought process. Like you have like a burst of ADD moment. And you're like, oh my God, I don't want to interrupt and be loud and obnoxious. So let me write this down so I don't ever forget about it because I'll be pissed if I don't forget.
Exactly.
Or if I do forget, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes there's like a rabbit hole you want to go down, but you're like, I don't want to go down it right now.
You're like, I have to backtrack. Let me go back to where the general area is.
Exactly. So, and I've done, this is like the 41st podcast. So now I'm like, not a veteran by any means, but I've done a lot of them.
Andrew's 41 years old. That's why it's special.
Yes. Today is my 41st birthday.
Happy birthday, you old fart.
August 29th. No, but anyway, so I won't tell you the year. Figure it out yourself. Do the math. Because I can't.
2012, that's when I came here.
Yeah, 2012. That's when I was born. April 16th. Anyways, I'm going to shut up about that. But we were talking about language and stuff. Learning a language in school is like so different than like just being thrown into a country and trying to figure it all out like your mom. Yeah. Because you don't have a choice but to speak it. Like in class, you can be like, teacher, what does pero mean? Like, you know what I mean? But like over there, you can't be like, excuse me, sir, what does that sign say? Like you have to try to figure it out, you know? My friend told me about this girl. Okay, so this is a very disconnected story, but my friend knows a girl who was studying abroad in like Spain or something, and there was a girl in her Spanish class that she was taking there. In the class, she was like, ¿Cómo se dice shook? Like, I'm shook.
Oh my God.
¿Cómo se dice shook? I was dying at that. I'm like, oh my God, stop right there. I'm gonna have to stop you right there and just no.
I would have thrown a paper airplane in her eye.
Exactly. Yeah, como se dice shook. That is the line of the podcast.
For anyone who's Spanish and listening, please like put down how to say that though in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
Because I want to learn how to say that now.
Let us know how to say shook. I could Google it, but I feel like the other thing
I feel
is
like it'd be shook.
yeah, but but if you say but shook in America means like you're literally shaking, and shook is like the past tense of like shaking. But
True.
when
Then
you're,
they'd make it really technical, maybe.
well, I'm hella shook right now. Like it like the context would not make sense. It'd be like if someone was like, I was just shaking a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't mean the same thing.
In a way, it kind of could though.
It could kind of.
Because
but
you'd be
you
shook after seeing someone get shot, so you'd just be like, I was just shaking a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of like I was shaken up or whatever. Like I am taken aback. I am shook right now. But yeah, that word needs to go home. I don't like that one.
It's not that bad. It's not the worst one I've heard.
No, but like there's just too many of these annoying phrases that people start saying. Like lit was one of them. I am guilty of saying lit all the time and I can't stop it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
And lit is still pretty relevant,
still pretty lit. Lit is still pretty lit. And the other day, me and my friend Kyle said something was anti-lit. We were like, bruh, this concert right now is anti-lit.
Okay, me and my girl squad, we say lit but chill. That's when it's like the perfect.
Chill.
Yeah, that's when it's the perfect amount of hype, but it's still kind of like
Low
kickback,
key.
Very low key, very relaxed. Yep. All of our get-togethers are like that. It's awesome.
Ooh, lit.
We're
but
about to
chill.
make this a hashtag for the rest of the world. So.
Yo, this podcast
It came here first.
The name of this podcast might have to be lit but chill.
Oh my god, my friends would freak out. They'd be like,
I'm doing it.
They'd be like, you know how like that one meme video where they're like,
oh snap!
Yes, yes.
Do you know what video that's from?
I don't know.
It's from this like fake rap battle video where this guy's like, bat boom, bada bat boom pow, and like that's his rap battle line to the other guy, and everyone's like,
did it used to be on Vine? Did it used to be on Vine?
It's like a longer video, but it was probably on Vine at one point.
Okay.
But it's really funny.
No, literally, they'd be so happy.
Okay, I'm naming this episode Lit but Chill.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So high school was pretty lit but chill, right? Good segue.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie.
Did it suck or did you like it?
I mean, it was yes and no. It was like I partied a lot my last like 2 years of high school, and
don't we all?
Yeah. But it was kind of like a dark path, and at the same point because I didn't really know myself and kind of following the crowd too much.
Yeah.
And partying too much.
Well, also,
definitely.
like, I feel like when you live in Georgia, there's just,
there's not as much events or something to, like, keep you busy for, like, cheap. You know? Like, I feel like all around this area is just, like, nothing but places to eat. And then, like, the options are kind of horrible. I feel like in the future, I'd want Gwinnett to be more, like, less of a food desert and more of, like, bountiful and, like, farmers markets and stuff like that, you know?
I think it's coming up.
I think it still has room for
Atlanta's, like, spreading a lot. And the city is, like, getting way cooler, too.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
The city of Atlanta
Tyler and I love
killing
going to
it.
Atlanta.
Yeah. Shout out to the Atlanta podcast, Matt B. Davis. What up?
Matt B.
If you like listening about Atlanta, go listen to his podcast. It's really good. But he talks to really cool people that are like Atlanta famous
Oh, cool.
and all about Atlanta.
Maybe he'll have me one day because I'm hoping I'll be Atlanta famous.
Yeah, he's really cool. And I actually just released the episode with Matt B. Davis of my podcast today. So go listen to it because it was lit, but chill. Okay, so back on track.
I have to pee.
You have to pee? Okay, let's pause it. We're going to pause the episode and have a pee break when we come back from these commercial messages.
My bladder's so tiny. I'm not even kidding. I have
Okay,
to
let's
pee
go.
like every half hour.
It's okay.
I can just open it?
Yeah, go for
Wait,
it.
you said let's go. You have to pee too.
I kind of have to pee too.
Why do you have to press it twice?
Because you can, hello ladies and gentlemen, we're back from this commercial pee break. If you press it one time, it's like you can check the levels, and then if you press it twice,
Okay,
it starts again.
Right.
We were just discussing the technical specifications of my digital recorder. So if anyone has a Tascam DR40, make sure the light is not blinking. Make sure it is solid, because if it's blinking, that means you are not recording. and you will not record your podcast and you'll be sad.
Yeah, very sad. All that progress lost.
Yeah, that's my biggest nightmare is not pressing the record button.
Right? And you're like, oh my God, thank you so much. We have great content. And then you look down and shit's
and you're
still
like,
blinking.
Yeah. Well, actually, on the podcast that I released today with Matt B. Davis, when we were recording, I was using a different power source thing. And the battery
Does
on
that
it.
charge it?
Yeah.
Shut up. It
Yeah.
looks like a phone.
Yeah. This is just like a power bank thing, like that you could plug your phone into.
What?
It's just like a USB to a little USB.
I see
Yeah.
that. Okay, yeah.
So,
I thought you were just placing it on top of
Oh,
it and
no,
it was just
that'd
like
be dope.
sending
Oh,
energy.
that'd
I
be-
was like, oh my God.
It's wireless. No, it's not a wireless charging thing. But there's batteries in it, but I never trust the batteries because if your batteries die...
You're fucked.
But yeah, so I was using a different one. I was using like a smaller one. And for whatever reason, in the middle, it was still charged, but it like stopped sending energy to it, stopped charging it. And and my batteries inside were like low, and so it like stopped the recording. So I'm never using that charger again because that sucks. I don't like that. But anyways, let's go back to the story.
We're having such a great time. We're getting off track.
No, it's okay. Like this is kind of what this podcast is about. And also, I think like when I'm listening to podcasts, I don't mind when it goes down rabbit holes. The one thing that is annoying is when I'm listening to a podcast and someone makes a point and they're like, we'll get back to that point later. And then they never get back to that point. And I was like, hey, I wanted to hear what they had to say about that.
Aww.
You know?
I'm horrible at keeping track of it.
But that's why I like to write it down.
Okay.
Because if we like start talking about something and then we're like, let's talk about it later. And then we don't, that would suck. But anyways, so high school, you were like getting like partying.
Yeah, so went through a partying phase, and then basically once I graduated, and I was also working at like Tilted Kilt for a little bit, and having
Was
the
that
kind
creepy?
of having the kind of clientele that you had. It just really put things in perspective for me, and I was just like, oh my God, I don't want to work in the service industry. I don't want to work here anymore. Like, I could do so much better. And then that's kind of like what made me go to school.
So like was college like a thing you wanted to do originally? Like
No.
out of high school, you're just like, nah.
No, I was just like, I kind of want to like take
Fuck
a break
off.
or like see where life takes me. I thought I didn't have to go. My parents and my family stressed on me like, hey, you need to go. Like, you should go, this and that. And I was like, I'm not really feeling it, to be honest.
That's interesting.
And so
did you just want to like fuck off and be lazy or like?
well, it was just like, I don't know, like probably a little bit of that, probably a little bit of like, oh, I don't need college to like follow my dreams. And like, honestly, back then I didn't even know like what my dreams were, what my passions were, what I really liked doing. So.
But you can't expect people to know what they want to do when they're 18.
Yeah, exactly. And that was another thing, like, again, my family and my friends basically pushed me to go to college, but like, it just wasn't something that I was 100% on wanting to do, and so I didn't do it. And my parents were like, okay, if you go to college, we'll help you pay for it, and like, you don't necessarily have to work, whatever, or you can get a job and do whatever you want to do, but you're gonna have to pay for like all of your expenses and privileges. And so
Yeah.
I did that. I did that for 2 years, and then I was like, screw this, and then I put my ass in college. And that's how I found out my passion for photography, and Trey helped me along the way, Tyler's brother.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he gave me my first film camera, and I just really liked the whole like going out and exploring and like finding new things to like take a picture of that like no one's seen before, and having to mess with like different settings. I mean, when you're using like a older film camera, there's a lot of like manual stuff that you have to turn and crank, and like all these things have to be on the right buttons, otherwise you're gonna get a black picture. And that's exactly what happened. And I kind of like lost myself for a little bit, but then I found my dad's old film camera, which was just a point and shoot, which means it basically auto adjusts all of the settings, and my pictures came out great. And I was like, wow, okay, this is actually really cool. I enjoy this. I've always liked taking pictures. I mean, in high school and all the way up until now, I've always taken pictures of my trips or people, and I've just, I don't know, just something about like, I guess, capturing moments and then going back and being able to look at it and like relive it or remember what happened. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I really like what you said about capturing a moment, because like it's kind of cliche in a way, because you know, like when people talk about photography, that's like a big thing that people kind of talk about. But I never really took photography like seriously until like I guess after high school, because like for example, I just thought photography was like easy. I don't know why. Like I thought it was kind of like a bullshit art, because I was just like, you don't have to like
almost like how you would think like painting or something when you're in like
but I think
school.
Painting is legit, because like I suck at painting, even though I've been able to paint some like arguably good stuff like in art class. Like I took art like all throughout high school and stuff. I've always been like an art nerd guy, but never to the point where I took myself super seriously, you know? Like I never saw myself doing art full time or anything. So I just kind of treated it as like, okay, this is just something I'm gonna kind of like do for fun, and I'm kind of good at it, so I guess I'll just like keep doing it. But like painting just was never my strong suit. I was always way more into drawing, because like I like to be able to be more precise, and I felt like with painting I couldn't like control the brush right and stuff. So I was always just like fuck it up and like draw something I didn't mean to draw. I'm going out of control, bro. Someone stop me before I paint again, bro. I'm out of control.
You're like painting your wall with like red paint. It's perfect.
Oh my god. Someone stop me. Keep the paintbrushes locked up.
You're like, Dad walks in, he's like, what's going on here? You're just like, I don't know. And you like paint him.
Go away, Dad. Nothing's happening in here. I'm just painting. Oh man. But anyways, like I viewed painting, I was like, wow, like if you're a painter, like that's a real skill. And like for whatever reason, I just thought like photography was easy. Like I was just like, you're not having to do anything. You're just like pointing the camera at the thing and taking a picture of it.
No.
Like I didn't really get the lighting and you know, the composition and like all that stuff. And now I really appreciate that, because even it's as cheesy as it sounds, like Instagram makes you think about that stuff a lot more.
Yes,
you know, like
for
if
sure. Social media, for sure.
Yeah, because it's the first time we've ever had a place to really like showcase very easily like photography. But it's weird because like film has like sort of taken a back, you know, like a back burner kind of thing, because everyone's all about digitals because they can share it really easily.
Right.
And film is kind of not necessarily a lost art, but more photographers are like super into that.
Yeah, no, film is definitely becoming a trend.
Oh, for sure.
And it's so weird because I'm sure anyone who's ever taken film photography or done it is probably like, oh, I thought about this first. But no, I remember before it became a trend, before like all these photographers started like shooting on film, like that was kind of how I started enjoying photography, which was weird. Like no one was into it. Like basically the only person that I was able to turn to was Trey, or if I looked something up on YouTube. But then also when I took a class in college, it was Introduction to Media and Techniques. They taught us how to use DSLR camera and like I want to say it was a different version of Tascam.
Was it a Zoom? Was it a Zoom?
I don't know. It was like it was like just like a rectangular box, and then there was a bunch of jacks. You can insert different microphones. Like one time I did one with Trey, like, and I had like a boom mic. I don't know.
Was it like it was like some sort of digital audio converter?
Yes.
Something like that?
Yes. And I had to use the CF card. Does this use a CF card or no? Okay.
No.
Mine does. The one that I used did. But anyway, so I learned all these like techniques about like lighting and like aperture and like how you're basically controlling all these settings on a digital camera, and that helped a lot too, because like being able to like see your outcome like as soon as you take it, like that was like a huge game changer to me. And
totally.
I was like, dang, this is actually a lot funner than film.
Yeah.
I still love film because film's always gonna have like a certain type of, I guess, like authentic, like vintage quality to it versus digital. It's always got like a...
It's like a record versus a CD or something.
Yeah, or just like, the quality is like a lot different. And then also, I guess it's got like a set filter, if you will.
I feel you.
Like,
and it's tactile. You get it. Good. You get a physical thing.
Yeah, that's
so
another cool thing. I still get it. Yeah, I get it on a CD, but I always keep those. I actually need to get. If anyone has any suggestions for like albums that fit, I think it's either 4x6 or 5x7 printed photos, like let me know where I can get like a huge one. I probably have like 1,000.
Yeah, because I was going to say what you might be able to do is just instead of buying a notebook that already has those, you might be able to find like plastic sheets on Amazon or something and then put them
just,
into
like,
a book
buy
that
a
you
bulk.
bought.
Okay, or buy a lot of those. Okay.
Yeah, or like
That's a good idea.
Like,
Let me write that down. Damn it.
My mom used to scrapbook, so like putting pictures into these big books. Like I'll show you some of them, and they were these books that could kind of expand in size depending on how many pages you put into it. It's kind of weird. Like the binding was kind of weird, but I'm sure that there's like something similar that you can like just put pictures into. But if anyone else listening has a better idea, then hit her up. But so I've had a few photographers on the podcast, but I've never like actually asked this because I don't know, just wasn't thinking about it. But I'm familiar with like all the terms of photography, sort of like aperture, ISO, white balance, like all that stuff. But like, what does that stuff mean? Because I know aperture is like the size of the hole, right? Kind of, right?
So
The size of the hole that's going into the camera.
Yeah, I'm a little rusty on this too. I know like ISO, you're gonna want to use a low number for places that have a lot of lighting.
What does ISO even mean?
I don't know. I suck at this. I suck
It's
at
ISO,
this.
bro. No, it's
I feel
okay.
like I'm doing a quiz. Stop it, Andrew.
I know. And you're on the spot. Sorry. No, but okay, so you want ISO low for what?
But ISO needs to be low for like, so if you're outside in the bright sun and it's just like really bright, you always want to use a low ISO. And then you want to use a high ISO if it's like dark outside or if you can't really see anything.
Gotcha.
And it helps increase grain, which is basically like the little like pixelies that you see in a picture.
Well, it's like whenever if you take a dark photo with like a crappy phone camera, you'll see like the dark is like all like crackly and grainy.
Yeah.
That's like the grain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then aperture is like what you said, basically how big or small the eye of the camera will be. So whether the shutter is like open really far or whether it's really, really tiny. So again, that has to do with lighting. You'll want your aperture to be higher. Or wait, I'm wondering if this is horrible. I'm like killing this right now.
It's okay. It's okay. No, but I was going to say aperture like is like the opening that's going into the camera, right? So like if it's smaller,
yeah, okay,
it would be for like dark,
I'm right.
dark stuff, or for lighter stuff, and if it's more open, it's letting more light into the lens,
and then,
or something like that.
What's the other one? Shutter speed. So you're gonna want it to be, if you want your shutter speed to be high, you're basically taking a picture of someone that's in movement. So if you're taking pictures of a soccer
really
tournament, you want your shutter speed to be really, really high, so that way it's capturing a clear picture of them kicking a soccer ball versus someone that's standing still, you're going to want it to be a lot lower.
Yeah, for sure. Because like,
but I suck at this. Please don't take my word for this. I'm the worst.
It's okay. But yeah, I feel like that's the case with a lot of things. Like, especially if you're like teaching yourself a lot of stuff, is like you might not even know the technical like words for everything. But since it's your camera, like you know how to like work it.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Like for example, like my friend, he went to school for like audio engineering, so he knows like all the technical stuff. Sometimes he'll work with like musicians that can make really awesome music, but they don't know all the like technical stuff or all the like little shortcuts they'll teach you in school. So he's always like, oh, this guy's really good, but like he doesn't know anything about this program or whatever it might be, which is kind of fascinating because it just goes to show that you don't have to necessarily be like classically trained to like be good at something either, which is interesting. Because I believe that about a lot of stuff.
Well, I feel like, I mean, just the new age. I mean, you can just go on YouTube and learn anything. Like, Tyler right now is actually learning the guitar. And he's, like, freakishly, like, really good at it. And he's only been playing for, like, maybe a week and a half. But he's learning all the chords and notes and everything on YouTube. And then, like, Google Images will show, like, how to position your fingers. And, I mean, he's just really enjoying, like, making, like, new music. And
That's
same thing with Same thing with photography. I mean, if you want to learn how to edit someone's photo bomb on Photoshop, like type it in and you can learn it instantly, and that's going to basically help your photography or your work in the future.
And if you're broke, you can Google how to crack Photoshop so you can get it for free. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean,
I'm totally kidding.
We're not promoting something illegal or anything.
I would never. I'm just telling you that that could happen.
It's out there, but we're not like.
Hey, I'm gonna be dead. I'm gonna be dead honest. I pay the full amount for Adobe Creative Cloud every single month. I am a saint. Everyone should bow down. No,
wait,
but seriously.
Do you have this student discount or no?
No, because I'm not a student. I pay full price, dog. I'm not trying to game the system. I pay the full adult price because I'm a grown-ass
Someone
man.
hashtag Adobe on this.
Hashtag Adobe. I am using legit products. Adobe Audition to edit the podcast. Adobe Photoshop to edit all the images you see on the podcast. And Adobe Premiere
Those are
to
stock
make
photos. Don't let them fool you.
To make all the videos that I make, and they're not very many. But I'm using legit licensed Adobe products.
So am I. I have
if
the student discount though.
To me. Okay, anyways.
In your face.
Okay, cool. So you started taking like photography classes or media classes in college, and then that just got you like super into it? Mm-hmm. That's
Pretty
awesome.
much.
And where'd you decide to go to school?
Where? UNG, University of North Georgia, and I go to the Oakwood campus.
Nice.
It's nice. It's like 20 minutes from my house. It's whatever. Like, I know like some of the other campuses are nicer or whatever, but this is the most convenient for me, and it has all the classes I need to graduate, so.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, because like, this is something very interesting because, I mean, it's weird because everyone tells you like you need to go to college, all this stuff, obviously. Out of high school, like you said, your parents were like, really adamant about you going, and then you didn't, and then you went back and all this stuff, and like it's like a weird conversation and a big argument, like because I was someone that dropped out of college after my first year, and so like
Really?
Yeah, so I went to college for 1 year. What up, Milledgeville? Go Bobcats, GCSU. What's up? And I actually really enjoyed it there. It's cool school. But so shout out to anyone there because it's awesome. I liked it. But yeah, so like the weird thing is like, after high school you were kind of saying like I wasn't feeling it, all this stuff. And for me, like I was so go with the flow and like wanting to like, I don't know, just like do everything that I was told and all this stuff that it just like wasn't even an option like for me not to go. And it wasn't to say that like if I really didn't want to go I couldn't have, because I totally could have, made that decision myself, but it was more just like, I don't know, all throughout my life I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go to college and whatever, and like I'd never given it much thought about like what I really saw myself doing, or like the weird thing is in high school, did you ever take the career aptitude test where you like you like take this test and it asks you a bunch of questions, and at the end it's like, you should be a doctor, or like whatever it says.
Yeah, I've never
And I remember taking that. It's like the CAT, the career aptitude test. And I remember getting it and saying I should go into marketing. Stop. What, cracking my fingers? Sorry, I crack my fingers a lot.
Ooh.
They're all pretty cracked right now.
I've never seen anyone just like crack this bottom part of their finger. There was a kid that I used to go to school with.
You can crack your fingers a lot of
Me and
different ways.
him were like besties. I knew him basically since I moved here. And I remember he would crack his, and I was like, oh, like that's nasty. And he was like, let me crack yours. And it fucking hurt. He would like crack it, like that little thing right there, and he would pull it so hard. I was like, ah. I was like,
well, that's
hurting.
what happens when you never crack your knuckles. Like if you never crack your knuckles, it hurts.
Ooh, no.
Because you're not used to it. But I crack mine all the time.
Stop. I can't watch you, but what were you saying?
I'm already cracked. I'm already fully cracked, so they're not going to crack anymore for a while. That's what happens. When you crack your knuckles, you can't just crack them all the time.
I'm fully cracked.
I'm fully cracked right now. Anyways, sorry, this little Velcro thing is attached to your shoe.
Oh my God, I was like, why?
Like, there's a bug on my shoe. It's this little Velcro thingy, sorry. But anyway, lots of people will argue, like they'll say all this stuff about well, obviously people with college degrees make more money and people without college degrees are proven to not, and like all this stuff. And it's weird because the numbers are slightly misleading because generally speaking, if you don't go to college, number one, a lot of times it's the money thing because it is expensive. But number two, it's typically like a lack of, like, I don't know, motivation or whatever it might be. And like, I'm not saying this was you because, I'm just speaking in general terms here. But it's an interesting subject because I think it's important for people to know this, because I think also when they hear these type of statistics and stuff, it can be misleading. Yeah. But the weird thing is like, if you look at the majority of very wealthy people or entrepreneurs, a lot of them didn't have formal education. So it's definitely, like you said, it's like possible to pursue something without having that degree. But if you know like what you want to learn about and stuff, like it's definitely still beneficial to have a college degree and like definitely beneficial to go, I think. But for me, like I just got like super inspired and started like reading a bunch of like self-development books and all this stuff, and I joined this company, and I've told this story a lot on the podcast, so like whatever. But it was a very weird time in my life because it was the first time I ever like didn't go with the flow or do things that people expected of me, which is really weird. Like, and I dropped out of college. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, it's like definitely a hot button subject because a lot of people have all kinds of feelings about it, because also college was way different back in the day. Like my parents both went to college, and they always talk about, like, well, I worked my way through college. It's like, that's not possible today. Like you can't work enough hours on
right. College isn't that cheap, or your job doesn't make you enough money.
Yeah, and I mean that's a whole other subject, but it's just interesting because like, people will want to like say whatever they want to say about if you go to college or not. And I'm saying like, if you know what you like, if you like going to college for a reason, like, and you're like motivated, then go. Like if you're not feeling it, then if you're just trying to fuck off and like not do anything with your life, then maybe college, and maybe like you should try to change like your mindset completely, because maybe college isn't even right for you right now.
Yeah.
Maybe you got to go out and like work a job and realize like, okay, this sucks. I need to like change something. And if you're in college and you don't really like know what you're trying to do, sometimes college is a good place to explore that. But a lot of times it's like, it's going to be costly to explore that there, because you'll end up like changing your majors a bunch of times, which happens to a ton of people. But yeah, like, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about college because I used to be like super speaking out against it, and then I kind of realized like, obviously we still need college because it's important, but it's kind of a weird thing, especially in today's world, because like you said, like you can learn so much on YouTube and stuff. But so listening to this podcast recently, this guy named Jordan Peterson, super interesting podcast, and he was talking about how like the university system isn't necessarily as important based on like learning the lectures. It's also about like being in a learning environment with your peers, and like especially when you're growing into that like adult phase and stuff, rather than being in a learning environment with your peers when you're younger, whereas like you're still like a baby, whereas when you're an adult learning stuff with your peers, it's a much different environment.
Yeah.
And you can like have conversations and debates and like, I don't know.
Right? A lot more is expected of you.
True.
I mean, this is my third year in college. I'm still taking like some required courses, but for the most part, like a lot of the professors are like, I'm not taking any bullshit. You either here as an adult and you're going to be prepared or not. Mm-hmm. And so that's their way, I guess, of kind of like weeding out people that actually want to be there, or people that are just doing it for other people or not doing it for themselves, which is what I didn't want in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I was like thinking about it. I was like, it's a lot of money. I didn't want to waste money or waste time.
Totally.
Doing that.
And a lot of people like, they don't take college seriously, and then they graduate and they have like a degree in this bullshit major that they didn't even want.
I feel like that's another reason why more people should kind of just like take a break or like not necessarily like go right into college like right after high school because of that, because of people being pressured into things that they're not necessarily passionate about, and then I guess like they don't put 150% into it, or they end up like hating their job or hating where their life went, and that's not cool.
Well,
like you don't want to end up in that place.
I think about this a lot because I think about being a parent a lot. I don't know why, because I'm not ready to have kids.
You want to be a dad.
But I definitely want to be a dad one day. Like, I feel like being a dad would be really
dad.
cool. Yeah, like being a dad is like really cool, but I'm definitely not like ready to do that yet because I've got a lot more like life to live before all that. But I think about a lot like what I'm gonna tell my kid, because if my kid wants to go to college, like, you know, I didn't, so it'll be kind of an interesting thing. It'll be an interesting conversation. One thing that I've like thought about a lot is I'm gonna make my kid create a airtight case for why they want to do something. You know what I mean? Like, go through, like, study whatever the thing is that you're thinking, create an airtight argument for me, and then like explain it of like actually step by step, like why you either do want to go to college or why you don't. Because it's like, yo, you're 18 now, like you've got to kind of figure out something. And hell, I'm like 23 and I still don't know what the fuck like I'm doing all the time, you know, or like what I'm going to do forever. But I think that like having a kid sit down and like create something like that, because I kind of wish that I would have had to do something like that. I think it would have been really beneficial. Like, yo, create like an airtight case for me why I should shell out like all of this money for you to like go to school, you know? You know, because like that's the expectation now, is that the parents are supposed to pay for everything. It's like, yo, like I'm willing to sacrifice my money and time and effort to putting you towards this goal if you can sell me on the reason why you actually want to go, rather than just like party your ass off and live in a cool dorm with your friends, you know? Because that's like half the reason a lot of people go.
And that's another thing, like I feel like everyone out of high school needs to just like dip their feet into like new experiences. Like you need to go out and try different things and like do stuff that makes you scared, and then you'd actually be really surprised at whether you like it or whether you end up being good at it. I mean, the possibilities are endless when you do that.
And like my biggest thing for people is, this is what I've been thinking about a lot recently. And basically the amount of money that you can make is always equivalent to the value that you bring other people. So if you're, for example, a doctor, you're like limited to the amount of value, you're limited to the people that you can bring value to as far as like seeing them in person, right? Because you can only see so many patients in a day, you can only see so many patients in a year. So you're kind of limited in the value that you can bring. But you can bring a lot of value to those people. So that's why doctors are like paid so much, because they can bring so much to the table for those few people.
And they're sacrificing a lot of like time and, you know.
And the skills are...
They're studying so much.
And, you know, And so like you're bringing a lot of value to people in that regard. And then there's other people, like, for example, entertainers. And their job might not seem like that hard of a job, but they make tons of money because they provide like literally millions of people with a smile or a laugh or whatever, and that's why they can get paid big bucks. And so like I think a lot of people want to like look at like a career and be like, oh, that career makes a lot of money, I should do that,
right? And
really kind of reverse engineer it to your own self, like knowing who you are as a person and thinking like, okay, like what am I good at doing? Like for me, like I know I'm pretty good at like, you know, for example, with this podcast, I like talking to people and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm not the best host in the world, and I'm probably talking too much right now and stuff, like not letting you talk. But I'm like in this rabbit hole right now, so I'm gonna go with it for a second. But you know, like hopefully I can bring a lot of value to people that way. Like if they're in their car right now listening to this and they're in traffic, like hopefully they're enjoying this conversation. Hopefully it's stimulating their brain. Hopefully it's making them think about something else.
Right.
And hell, what do I know? I'm only 23, but at the same time, like hopefully, like, you know, bringing value in that way can do something. Yeah. And that's like one of my goals with this podcast. But another thing that, you know, people can do is like with your art or your blog or whatever, like if you can bring value to so many people, that's like huge. But if you're working at McDonald's, like you're not bringing much value to the world, and you're easily replaceable. That's another thing, is you got to be unique and provide lots of value.
Yeah.
Because like you could be unique and like make super weird art, but if no one appreciates it, you know, like if it's not actually bringing value to people and no one likes it, then like, I hate to say it, but like you're just not providing much value to anyone else. And so that's what like the biggest thing is, like you've got to figure out like your thing and like how can I bring value to the world in a way that I am actually enjoying this.
Exactly.
And having a good quality of life. Anyways, I'm going to shut up.
No, you're good. What's weird is when you were talking about like, oh, looking up how much money you can, like, I remember my mom and dad like telling me, oh, Sarah, like go and look up like highest paying jobs today or something like that. Because I remember when I was enrolling for my first year of college, I was like, I think I'm going to go as undecided because I don't know what I want to do. And I remember like looking up all these jobs. I remember like one was being an accountant, like another one was like something crazy like neuroscientist, and I was like, what the hell? Like, number one, I don't know if I could take on that much responsibility. Number two, I don't know if I would like it. And number three, like, yeah, that's a lot of money. Yeah, I can do a lot with that money, but it's like I was totally thinking about whether I was gonna like doing it, because
exactly,
I feel like a lot of times throughout high school I was doing a lot of things that I didn't like, but I was kind of
I just got a hand cramp, sorry.
Dang. Too much lifting, bro.
I was doing grip strength training today, so like I was literally just squeezing my leg just to like, I don't know, and my hand totally cramped.
Damn, I'm sorry. Oh God.
This bottle is so loud. No, but I feel you. Like that's what I was talking about with the career aptitude test. It's like you look up these careers and you're just like, I'll pick one. You know, I'll pick this one in the book. But like a lot of times when you hear about the most successful and wealthy people, like that's not a thing. That's not the reason
they all
why
had
they
a vision. They all had a dream, basically, that they built off of that they built up from their company.
And another thing that's I've been thinking about recently is a lot of people want to go into this like woo-woo kind of like, if you vision it, you can have it, and like all this stuff. And it's like, see this successful guy? It's because he envisioned it. And it's like, yeah, but also there's like a lot of other factors.
There's a lot of work,
and not even just work. Like, yeah, you can envision something
or a lot
and
of effort.
You can work. Yeah, an effort. Like totally. Like the 10,000 hours thing. But it's like you also have to know yourself enough that, like I said, if you want to go be an NBA player, you're never going to be able to do that. So like figure out the thing that you can bring value with in the world and then pursue that wholeheartedly. Because, I mean, the biggest regrets people have are not the things that they normally did with all their heart. Because even if you do something with all your heart and you fail, you probably learned a really valuable lesson there. And if you just spent your whole life following the crowd and like never actually went out on a limb and did anything, like on your deathbed, you're probably going to be thinking like, fuck, I never like actually tried anything.
Right, yeah.
And like regret a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and also another thing is I feel like with whatever passion that you have, like if you do go at something wholeheartedly, like do your research, like know the correct way of like, I guess, creating your own process that you'll end up going through with, and that will make you successful or make your art successful or whatever. Yeah.
And there's like a lot of people, I think, get way too bogged down in like, okay, I'm going to try to do this, but I'm going to try to like learn everything before. And it's like, you've got to kind of like figure out step one, learn step one, and then do step one. Then once you're done with step one, like figure out what step two is and learn step two and then do step two. Then figure out what step three is and learn step three and do step three. Instead of trying to learn step 1, 2, and 3 and then execute them all, it's like do the thing, and then when you realize you need to learn more.
One step at a time, literally.
Yeah. And like if that
good way of thinking. Yeah. Dang, I should have brought my own notepad.
No. I didn't write it down. No, but my friend Owen.
You should create a section on there for me.
Yes. Do you want to write this down? You can have a sheet. Make a new. You can have that sheet. No, but like that's like that's like a big thing that people don't think about a lot too. Is like people get way too bogged down in like, oh well, if I do this, I'm gonna have to dedicate so much time. It's like, yeah, but the time's gonna pass anyways, so you might as well do it. Like my friend, by the time this comes out, this episode will be out. But my friend Nicole, she's a DJ, and like she wanted to like make music and stuff, but she didn't know how. And so she just like started trying it, and like instead of approaching it like a formal way, she just like step by step, like, yo, I'm gonna go on YouTube, yo, I'm gonna like try to ask people and now she's like killing it as a DJ. Sick.
Damn.
It's pretty sick.
That's pretty sick. By the way, mad respect to any girls that are DJs. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, super rad. I was like so stoked about it. And we talked about that, like the importance of being a female DJ. You'll have to listen to it. It's very interesting. But
What episode is it?
39, I think. So it was like 2 episodes ago. Yeah, it's not out yet.
We're so close.
It's not out yet, but it will be out by the time you're listening to this. So if you're listening to this right now, go and listen to episode 39. It's really good. But let's talk about your blog, because that's super, super tight, and I like what you're trying to do.
Thank
I really
you.
like it a lot.
Okay, so basically it's what I call more than a lifestyle blog, because I didn't want it to be subjected to one subject. So I have, like, as of right now, traveling. I have a little bit of DIY, do it yourself. I have a little bit of educating up in there. I am a very big, as what my mom would say, a modern hippie. So it's all about, reducing, reusing.
The environment, bro.
Oh, I actually, yes, exactly. Because climate change, I believe, is real, and there's a lot of factors to it. And I actually, what's funny is I took an environmental studies class in college, which is what got me passionate about this. So for any of you that are like on the limb about going to college, if you're not too sure if you want to go or not, like, take a bunch of different classes that might interest you, and you'd be really surprised, I guess, what your outcome would be afterwards. But yeah, so, and I actually ordered some silicone baking
mats.
Yes, I guess like mats.
I saw that on your Insta.
Yes, so it'll reduce waste, because think about it, if you're using like
Tin foil.
Exactly. Aluminum foil while you're baking, that's creating waste. And then also, I actually just learned that when you're cooking on those, there's actually a lot of aluminum particles that will come off, and it'll puncture holes in your stomach.
Ooh.
Yeah. I know a lot of really gross facts like that, so
I've heard,
stay tuned for
I've
some
heard
more.
that cooking on aluminum is definitely bad for you. I need to get some of those silicone baking mats. Can you use it on a grill?
It said that it was oven safe. I don't remember if it said it was grill safe. You use aluminum foil on the grill? Why don't you just put it directly on there and...
For salmon. Because it has like the skin. And so like when you put it on aluminum foil, it like cooks better.
Just start baking it.
But then it smells up your whole house, and that's grody. But
Get an air freshener. You have tons of candles.
I know that that's true, but I know that there are silicone grilling things. I've seen commercials for it. So I don't know if it's the same kind.
Oh, okay.
But I've seen it before, and I should
like
probably get it.
Yeah, I think it's like a 2-pack for like $11.
Well, also the other
and
thing
some
that's
change.
grody is when, like, here's the thing, is when I'm using aluminum foil on the salmon too, is because I can throw it away, because the salmon skin always like, sticks to it, so I'd have to like clean the thing. But I'm gonna get one, because I need to reuse and not create waste, because it's bad.
Yes.
No, but I think about that a lot, because
It's easy to clean. You can put it in the dishwasher on the top.
oh, there we go. That's
So,
easy.
don't even
Because
worry
I
about
hate scraping the metal. Like I have this.
No, yeah, that's
Because I have a
bad,
metal thing that I cook it on too sometimes. That's like this little removable thing for the
Oh,
grill.
yeah, and it's
But
got
then you
the
have to,
holes,
like,
little
yeah,
holes?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But another thing is like it's hard to cook like asparagus on that, because if you're trying to grill asparagus and you've got like oil on it, then the oil just all like drips all through it. But if you have a sheet, it'll like kind of like fry it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like the baking mat would help with that, because it doesn't have holes.
I'm sure they have a grill safe one.
I know there is.
It might be a little bit more expensive though.
Yes, but I need to get one. But anyways, so like with your blog, like you said, is like more than like a lifestyle blog, because I mean, you don't want to be limited by one thing.
Yeah.
And that's boring. That's what I try to do with this podcast, because I could have easily made it like, this is the Entrepreneur Podcast. And this week we talk with Sarah. She's a blogger, and she creates revenue through advertisements. You know, like super cheesy, lame. Like, I'm not trying to do that. And my favorite types of podcasts are very off the wall and don't have a specific subject either, because like, I listen to a lot of different podcasts, but like, for example, I'll listen to this one on fitness, but I definitely don't listen to every single episode, because I'm just like, you know, I don't know, every week I get kind of tired of them talking about the same thing.
Exactly.
And I like having
diversity.
Like,
it's all about like, and I'm the same way with my food. I don't just like want one type of food. I want nachos and I want pasta and ice cream all in one meal because this is America.
Because this is America, goddammit, and this is a melting pot, and we ain't gonna limit ourselves
and I'm about to dip my
pizza.
I'm about to dip my cracker in this fondue pot.
Hey.
American fondue pot.
Yeah. So what, like, obviously going out and like creating a blog like takes like
a lot of time.
And also a lot of people toy around with this idea in their brain for like years and years.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I should start a blog, and then they like never do.
I've actually had a lot of friends and people that have read it and are like, hey, I want to do my own blog. Like, give me tips. What do I do? Where do I start? And the first thing that you absolutely need is, I would say, at a minimum, at least 3 different posts. Because that way you have the direction that you want to go, that you want to start off with. And then since I am a photographer, I did my research and I tried figuring out like what website host was best for showcasing photography.
Squarespace.
And so I found that. Shh. Don't give away my secret formula.
This podcast is sponsored by Squarespace. No, I'm just kidding. By the way, I don't know if you listen to podcasts, but like every podcast is sponsored by Squarespace. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, so many. They're always reading ads for Squarespace.
Oh.
Which is funny. But this podcast is not. So Squarespace, I'm taking this ad back. I am not promoting you, even though I use it too. But anyways, continue.
I'm just kidding. You can continue promoting them because they're pretty awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so like you wanted to find a blog that showcased your photography.
Yes, and then also, of course, like I wanted to actually like write, and I suck at writing, but that's okay. I feel like we're kind of in a new age to where you can write casually or just write to where every person could be able to read it and just have some sort of voice in their head.
Yeah, because I've actually read some of your blog posts, and I actually like how the flow of it is, because kind of the way that you talk, you're like, okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah, right.
It's cool, because you can picture the way that you've thought about it, rather than trying to write it like a novel or something.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I'm taking a bunch of journalism classes because I'm doing communications and media and journalism, and I feel like a lot of it's very, like, mechanic, but when I go to, like, write my blog, it's definitely a lot more how I actually speak or how I actually communicate to other people. I don't want it to sound robotic or, hello, sir, welcome to my blog.
Yes.
Cometh over here. Like,
yeah. On this blog, I don't know why I always go into the radio voice, like, on this episode. I hate that.
You sound like a cartoon.
Yeah, definitely, like, cartoon radio guy. Like, Timmy Turner, like, Dimsdale, blah, blah, blah.
Right? You'd have a cartoon radio station for sure.
I feel like I definitely could have a cartoon radio station.
Yeah, you could. Do you have a recycling bin, sir?
It is downstairs, but I will put it in there. Or you can put it there if you want to directly place it in the recycle bin to make sure.
I want to make sure you're not lying.
Oh, I'm not lying. Yo, that's one annoying thing is, like, some places, like, for example, at the place I work, like, a recycling company doesn't pick up there. So, like, they don't have a recycling thing.
Oh, no.
And, like, they could go way out of their way and, like, take it somewhere, but they don't.
I need to say, there's actually a challenge going on right now that I've been doing, and try to challenge yourself to not use plastic straws. So even if you're getting like a Starbucks drink or something, like try not to use the straw, because it's like, I think it's over like, I don't know, like 100 million each day or something. That
makes a lot of sense, and you throw them away.
And it's like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen the YouTube video with like the sea turtle that has the straw stuck up his nose. That thing scarred me for life. Like,
yeah.
Andrew, you're my witness right now. I have this little tumbler, and just get like the
permanent straws that you can reuse.
Dishwasher-safe straws. I even use them in regular cups, or if I like bring something with me on the go. Like, I always use these straws because it's like, I don't want to use plastic ones. And if you're at work and they have like to-go cups or something, if they have the option of using some sort of glassware or something that gets washed, use that instead. It makes a huge difference. And our sea friends will be very happy.
Well, another weird thing about America is like we've got so much land that we're kind of like, oh, let's just make a landfill. Right here's where we're going to stick all our shit. And like we're just going to dump whatever the fuck we want to into this little hill right here, and it's going to be our stinky pile of trash. And like that's just what we do. But like in a lot of other smaller countries, like they don't have the land, they can't afford to do that kind of stuff. Like when I've been in a lot of...
Or not even land to build real estate. They won't touch it because they want to preserve like the natural beauty and stuff like that. I respect that a lot.
Like one thing I really appreciated about like the Netherlands and Germany is like they recycle real hardcore there, and it's not just like here's the one recycling bin where you throw all your recyclables. There's like a can bin, there's a plastic bin, and they're like everywhere on the street. So like when you're just walking out in public, you have the option, because that's the biggest problem with like with all this recycling stuff is there's not the infrastructure put in place to make it effective that everyone can effectively do this. And it's not the norm either. We're just taught like when we're kids like, oh, throw it in the trash.
Yeah, and then also I was told, I had a friend of mine whose like dad or something worked with like Gwinnett County like recycling or something, and they said that they don't even like technically really recycle, like that they just mix it in with all the other trash and stuff, which is horrible.
Whoa.
Yeah, so...
It's pretty messed up.
I mean, I've actually done research. I've seen videos. There's a thing called downcycling, and basically what they do is they say, oh, hey, we're going to pick up your recycling, or we have recycling here, but then they actually end up taking all the recyclables, shipping it to a country like India where they don't really like have an economy, they don't have money. And so they take the money that we offer them, and then we just dump all of our recyclables like in a designated area in their country.
Whoa, weird.
Yeah. Look
That's
it up.
Kind of gross.
If y'all have Google, which I'm sure you do, look up downcycling. I'm sure there's the YouTube video that I'm talking about. It's sick.
I've never heard of Google.
And I mean sick in the bad way, like sickening. It makes my stomach hurt. Not like
sick, dog.
Not like rad.
Rad. Let's pollute the environment, dog. That's freaking sick.
Surf's up.
Surf's up like the turtle. It all came full circle. Yeah, that video is really gnarly though. But yeah, I've always been curious about what the heck they do with it, because like, does it really make sense to just throw all your recyclables in one bin? Like, how do they sort it out effectively?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't that seem counterintuitive?
Yeah, and
seems
then
a little counterintuitive.
Also, in the same video that I was talking about, it was saying that depending on where you are, or depending on what recycling entity, facility, whatever you have, sometimes it'll take, I think it was like $13,000 to recycle like $13 of like renewable like materials. So basically you get $13 worth of new stuff if you put 13,000 like into it or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely the execution of recycling in America is horrible. That's why I try not to even use any plastic. I have a bunch of like different reusable bags in my trunk at all times. So anytime I go shopping, whether it's planned or not, it's always in my trunk so I can use it.
So here's the devil's advocate thing here, because I agree with everything that you're saying, and I agree that we need to reuse and all that. But a lot of people will say like, okay, well, like you're just one person though. So there's, for every one person that's trying to do this, there's 1,000 people that don't give a shit.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
So speaking of this, I remember when I was trying to get inspiration from for one of my blog posts, which I have up right now, about ways that you can become a little bit greener in your life. I actually put a math equation in there, which I suck at math. Like, whoa. But this was, I remember thinking like, okay, what are people going to think when they read this? And that was actually one of the things like, oh, well, you're just one person. Oh, well, that's not really going to make that much of a difference. But basically, I mean, think about it. I'm one person, say 30 people read my blog post. And then out of those 30 people, 10 people start using reusable bags. Each time they go shopping, they use like 5 bags. Anyways, it leads basically to, through those 10 people, through myself as well, you could end up saving over like 10,000 plastic bags in like a year, which you might not think is a lot, but that's actually kind of a big deal. And think about that, I guess, like affecting more people than that. Like, it could make a difference if you educate those around you, basically.
I agree with that. I like that. I like that explanation because, yes, you're only one person, but you can always affect the people around you. That's very true. Another thing that I was going to say is a lot of people will argue, like, okay, yeah, I get it, like, using, like, less straws is going to be helpful, but, like, you know, there's other bigger fish to fry or whatever kind of thing. Like, so me choosing to not use this one straw one time, is it really going to make a difference or whatever? Mm-hmm. But like you said, it's kind of like the compound effect. Like, everything starts off small always, no matter what kind of idea it is. And if you're going to try to disseminate an idea, we have to first, like, implement it ourselves and then educate others.
Yeah. And
which
then
is super important.
You can kind of think of it as like a snowball effect in a way. So, yeah, you might start off small, but then once you start getting more people on board, your snowball is going to get bigger. You're going to start rolling down the hill faster, and then your little snowball is going to become a big snowball that can basically dominate and take on any sort of challenge that gets thrown at you. Because, I mean, think about all the organizations right now that are helping the marine life, helping clean up beaches and helping the environment and passing laws, like almost like in Santa Monica, in the city of Santa Monica, California, there's no plastic bags allowed. Like, someone had that idea, someone implemented that idea, and it basically turned into a law. And so now there's no plastic used in that city. Like, why can't we do that in other places?
Probably because the plastic bag companies have lobbyists and get real mad when you try to shut down their business.
And that's another thing. If you're willing to choose, I suppose, quality of life over money, I feel like if you have a good heart and that's actually, like, something that you care about, something that you want, then I don't know. I feel like, I guess that.
But let's say I own the plastic bag company. I'm going to be real mad when you outlaw plastic bags.
Right. Well,
and I'm going to do everything I can.
But then think about it.
Stop you.
You'll probably have new tote companies or new bag companies, reusable bag companies that are going to open up and going to need people to help out and create more reusable bags.
But I'm the plastic bag company owner. I don't want to create a new company. My company already exists.
Well,
you know?
what if you'd end up making more money from going to the tote bag industry?
But I'm already making millions doing it. I'm just playing with you. But seriously, like, that's the reason why a lot of this stuff hasn't happened, because there are people trying to make it, but, like, the people who own the plastic bag companies obviously are raking in the dough, and they're doing literally everything in their power so that their system continues.
That's a huge reason why health is such a big issue here in America, is because all these people are so rich off of McDonald's and all these fast food chains. And if you watch enough documentaries on, like, the environment and on, like, health and, like, how, like, a lot of, like, the farming and food industry works, it's like everything is linked to what? I think it's like 10 people that, like, own all these corporations, who have corporations under them, who have businesses under that, and it's all like this big webbed chain, and it's like it's always the same people at the top. They're not really giving a shit about your health. They're giving a shit about the money in their pocket and whether their grandchildren are going to be able to buy a Porsche next year or something. And
you're hella woke.
Yeah, and it's like, after learning about that and then, like, seeing how food and healthcare is so much different out of this country, like, our priorities are, like, way fucked up. Our government is, like, not concerned about the right things.
You're hella woke, Sarah. Hella woke. I like it. No, I agree with all that kind of stuff. And, I mean, I think most people, they'll see that kind of stuff and be like, damn, the world is fucked up. But then they don't really know how to, like, actually do anything. And I appreciate that you're actually, like, trying to inspire people. Like, that's really cool, because everyone can do their own little part. And in order to get the masses to do something, someone's got to start. And that's super important. But I totally agree that the globalists are trying to take over the world. Do you ever watch Alex Jones? Do you know who he is?
No.
He's this dude.
Sorry.
He's this dude. You shouldn't know who he is. He's a whack job. He's funny, and there is some stuff that he's actually been right on. But he has this channel called InfoWars, and he's like all about. He's 100,000% believes like every conspiracy theory ever, and
my
he like
God.
thinks that the globalists are like trying to take over the world, and he's like, these 10 people, they're all meeting in secret doing sacrificial rituals. They're intergalactic child molesters. They're coming through the TV, and like he's just like wacky. But he's got some, like, if you boil it down, he's got some really good ideas.
But it's like he's kind of creating his own imagination around the actual facts.
Yeah, and it's exactly like what you perceive is your reality. So if you think everyone's out to get you, what are you gonna see in the world? Like you're gonna
see too much evil, not enough good, basically.
Yeah, and like everyone's out for themselves, but at the same time, like there's a lot of pessimists out there, and there's a lot of nihilistic people that like, you know, or cynical people that, you know, think that everyone is just a piece of shit, and like, you know, well, what am I going to do? I'm just like one person, everyone else sucks. You know, like there's a lot of people that think just like the world is a crappy place and like people just suck. But the way that I like to look at it is the people that are typically like not doing stuff for other people. Obviously that's just like kind of human nature. Like most people are out for themselves anyways.
A little
so
bit
you can't
selfish.
really blame them. Yeah, everyone's a little bit selfish because you got to look out for number one, right? You got to look out for yourself. But, you know, like, people want to say, like, well, look how much evil is in the world, bro. Like, there's people out there killing each other. Like, there's people out there flying planes into buildings. Bush did 9/11. There's people... I'm kidding. But, there's, you know, like, look what's happening overseas, bro. Terrorism.
Yeah, no.
And, like, there's people... Yes, there's lots of evil out there in the world. But the way that a good way that I like to think about it is, like, there's a lot of also really good people out there that are just trying to do good. And like, the biggest example I like to think of is everyone every day has the opportunity to kill somebody because you get behind the wheel of a car. You could easily drive into someone on the side of the road. You could drive into someone and hit them head on. You could flip over a median and kill a whole bunch of people. But yet, most people going through their normal life are sitting in their car, driving, being pretty responsible. Everyone's texting, but like surprisingly, there's way less accidents than there could be.
Yeah, so in one of my journalism classes, there's actually a theory based on people that basically become very paranoid and very scared of the world outside of them because they're constantly watching the news and just kind of absorbing all the negative news that they're covering. And I'm not even gonna lie, I feel like everyone's probably a little bit guilty of, I guess, experiencing this theory because I have in the past, and I was like super scared to like go out and like go to the park with my friends because I thought a terrorist was gonna come around the corner and
child molester is gonna come.
Yeah, no, and I think that that's totally real, and that's one thing that you also learn in journalism is good news is bad news. So basically, bad news is going to get a lot more coverage, a lot more
shock value.
Exactly.
Clicks.
Versus something that's good and something that's pure. I kind of would like to change that in the industry, to be quite honest, because like I hate that. I hate constantly like focusing on negativity, and I know that might come off, I guess, sort of childish to some people. Yes, those of you who are realists, yeah, you got to keep it real. Yeah, you got to always, I guess, keep in touch with what's going on out there. But I don't think that you should absorb like 90% of your time into it. I think it's good to educate yourself on what's going on, but also at the same time, you definitely need to have like positivity like around you. You need to see that there's still like humanity and like good people and good things happening in the world.
Definitely. I have so many things I want to say right now.
Say them.
3 things. Number 1, Jim, I'm going to write these down before I forget them.
Okay.
Because I'm going to not say the things, and I'm going to be mad at myself. Okay, so number 1, Jim Rohn. He's a speaker guy, and he talks about how, like, out of 100 people, there's, like, one mean guy, and you only run into that one mean guy, like, every once in a while, so, like, don't worry. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
It wasn't out of 100, but he basically says, like, there's only a few mean people in the world, and you run into that same mean guy a lot. And, like, there's nothing you can really do about it, so when you run into him, you just got to be like, oh, there's my time that I'm seeing the mean guy. Hopefully I won't see him again for a while, you know? And so, like, instead of looking at it as, like, everyone is a potential mean guy, you're just going to, like, run into, like, one mean guy every month or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because there's always, like, that one guy that just, like, whoa, that guy was a dick, like something like that. Like once a month, you really run into an asshole. But other than that, like most everyone's pretty cordial to you, unless you're like in a really bad environment. The other thing I was going to say is Tim Ferriss talks about not absorbing the news and stuff because he's really all about like taking a self-assessment and realizing like what is beneficial and what's not, and cutting out all the bullshit and only doing things that are going to benefit you and doing like the minimum amount of effort to create the maximum level of like success or whatever. So one thing he talks about in his book, The 4-Hour Workweek, is like, if you stop watching the news, you'll still know about the important stuff because someone will tell you. Because people are always like, well, if I don't read the news, I'm not going to know what's going on. And it's like, you can count on everyone else to know what's going on, and if something is really that important,
right?
You'll find out.
Exactly.
You will find out. Like, people are like, well, if I didn't watch the news, I wouldn't know about the solar eclipse. And it's like everyone was freaking talking about that shit.
No,
you would have known.
Yeah, think about it. Any really important news would end up hitting social media.
Exactly.
And that's actually how a lot of people are reading their news. Last year, when I was taking my first journalism class, basically my teacher did like, hey, show of hands, who reads a newspaper, who does this, and then like the last one was like, who receives or looks at news like on their phone. And I mean, think about it.
Everybody.
All of the Apple products have a news app. I'm sure Android or HTC, whatever, has a news app to where you can just go and read whatever's trending, read whatever's important, I guess.
It is interesting because people, what they used to have to do is they had their, like, on the early days of the internet, they had their websites they enjoyed, and like you would, like, a lot of people, for them it was like the yahoo.com like homepage. It had like all this news or whatever.
Didn't something happen where it was like a bunch of like fake stuff, or like there was a controversy? I think
I have no idea. I don't read the news. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I only know important stuff like the eclipse and hurricanes. No, I'm just kidding. I totally am guilty of reading the news on Facebook. But yeah, it's like back in the day you had to have this thing called an RSS feed, which basically like you could subscribe to like your favorite websites. Whenever a new article got posted, you could see on your RSS feed like, oh, sick, like CNN just posted a new thing or whatever it might be. And people used to really like go to websites and read stuff, and now it's like that's kind of lost. A lot of times if you're going to read the news or something, it's because someone posted it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and you read the headline and you're like, oh sweet, I like normally what Sarah reposts, I'm gonna read this because it's probably important or whatever. And obviously Facebook has, and Twitter and whatever you use, have played like a huge role in that, but I'm trying to do my best to like not absorb as much of that stuff, because this leads into my next point, which is Joe Rogan has been talking about this a lot on his podcast recently, and I'm like a big Joe Rogan fan. I listen to Joe Rogan all the time. But anyways, one thing he talks about is like we weren't as humans like designed to know all the bad news in the world. Like we like back,
I feel like we would break down and cry and
exactly.
Like, be useless.
But that's like what people do is like when you watch the news, you're literally watching the worst possible things that are happening to the whole world. Like you're hearing about the worst things. And like, if you think about it, if you didn't watch the news, would you have known that there was a bunch of Nazis walking down the street? No. But the news let you know that there are groups of people out there that are hateful and marching in the streets. So then all these other people that feel activated by that are like going to meet them, and then there's a big conflict.
No, and that's another thing. Like, if you think about it, back in the day, I feel like there was a lot of things that are happening now that were still happening way back when. I mean, think about how many freaking KKK marches or hate marches that they had back in the day.
But just no one knew about it, and it wasn't documented.
Like, it was like maybe whoever was in the small town that happened in, like, they knew about it, but no one else farther than that. Now, it's if a KKK march was happening in Atlanta, Georgia, everyone and their mother would know about it. All the way in Japan to freaking Thailand, Bangkok, like, they all know, and if they see whoever is leading it, they know who you are, and they hate you.
See, because on one hand, it's good because you expose these hateful people and you can do something about it. But on the other hand, it's bad because then everyone is absorbing all this bad news. And like, this is what Joe Rogan talks about, is like back in the day when you were like a tribe, like you had your tribe, like maybe like one really bad horrific event would happen like once a year or something, you know, like someone gets killed by an animal or like, you know, whatever it might be, or someone dies of a sickness, or maybe not even once a year, maybe once a month something really bad happens. But it's like, it seems like when you pay attention to the news, every single day, every single week, there's
They're
some
highlighting
new
bad
crazy
stuff.
thing that's happening. And so you just get this really fucked up version of the world where you're like, oh, the world is so crazy bad. But it's because we're never taking a second to appreciate, holy shit, there was literally millions of people driving these death machines down the street and no one killed themselves
Right.
or someone else today.
Yeah, honestly.
Or like if it was literally an accident. Like it happened on accident. It wasn't on purpose that someone died. It sucks. But this is the fact that everyone is driving death machines down the road, that something bad happened.
Exactly.
But the majority of people, 99.99999% of the people driving death machines did not kill anyone.
Right?
Which is crazy.
Social media is such a blessing and a curse at the same time, because you can have so many great things out of it, like your podcast, my blog, photography, you know, networking. But I feel like, I mean, even stuff that's trending can be like absolutely horrific. I couldn't tell you how many like fights and like people getting like made fun of that's like trending. Like, I feel like that's what's poisoning a lot of people's minds. And I also feel like that's why the anxiety rate is like so high. I'm almost like 100% sure, 99.9% sure that anxiety is definitely linked with like the modern technology or like the modern world. Like, what's like, think about being 10 years old and you're just like constantly seeing all this stuff about like racism or like terrorism and bombs. Like, you're gonna go out there thinking everyone's a terrorist or like everyone's racist, and you're gonna be paranoid. Like,
yeah, little kids are scared, man. Like, they're scared, especially with this election that happened and how much like craziness. Like, their little kids are like afraid for the future. Like, it's kind of sad because these kids are watching the news with their parents or whatever, and they're just like thinking the world is this terrible place. But like, newsflash, it's like the best time ever to be alive, especially if you live in America. Like, I mean, even though people will say like America, you know, it's not as good as it used to be, make America great again, blah blah blah, like, it's still like an awesome place to live. And if you live in America, you freaking won the lottery. Like that's just how it is. You could have been born in a third world country. You could have been born, you know, to a mom who is addicted to crack and you're a crack baby. Like, you could, there's so many things. You could have been born with, you know, obviously there's gonna be people listening to this that have disabilities, that have issues, but like, there's always someone that could have it, that has it worse than you. And that's sad, but it's also, you know, in a weird way, like kind of comforting, because it's like, bro, you have something that someone would kill to have. And that's not to be taken lightly, you know? Like, there's people that are so like, you know, obviously depression's like a real issue, but it's like, dude, you have so much potential. And that's a hard thing to measure. Because potential is a weird thing. Like, everyone always thinks that they're not living up to their potential, even if they're exceeding on a super high level. And that's a super weird thing. It's like, it's very hard to measure what the potential of something is. You don't know until like you reach it, you know, which is weird. But even when you reach it, you can always go higher.
right.
Sorry, I'm like going super deep right now. But how long have we been going? I feel like we've been going for a while. What's the future of your blog? Like, where do you like see this? Because obviously blogs are like huge. People share articles and all that stuff. So,
I really like a few people that I follow, their blog. My number one being Sazan Hendricks. She's got like a husband. She lives in California. She's got a baby on the way, and she just created this thing called a Bless Box. And so she basically hand picks all these full-size products for you. So all the girls out there probably know what I'm talking about or know something similar. There's basically things you can subscribe to, and you pay this many dollars every season or month, and they send you in a bunch of like hot new products or stuff that'll help your skin and hair. So hers is basically a full-size version of it, because a lot of them are usually just like trial size, little, or they rip you off. And she's got a whole box that you can like, that she's handpicked, and it's got all these like products for like hair, skin, sunglasses. Like, usually the box is well over like $100 worth of stuff, and you only pay like, I think like $50 or something. And then, you know, she is able to promote different brands, like makeup brands, clothes. She's constantly getting like stuff in that she could like show off and showcase on the blog, and food. I mean, even Tash Oakley and Devin Brugman, they own Monday Swimwear. And they created basically a whole empire. They created a bikini company. They have their own blog. They have like traveling workout plans. Like just basically they're able to enjoy their life, take photos of things that they like doing or whatever, new bathing suits. They're able to take pictures. Like basically you can create some sort of like entrepreneurship. I want to create like I guess like content for boosting brands. Like I want to, I don't know.
I feel you.
Like there's travel and promote, yeah. I suppose.
I feel you. I totally feel you. That's why I want to do this podcast eventually, because I want to take it on the road. Obviously, my setup is super portable. I did that on purpose because I wanted to get used to using like very minimal equipment so I can travel as much as possible with it and as easily as possible. And that's another reason why I don't use a mouse with my computer, because I'm like, if I'm on the go, I'm not going to be able to use a mouse anyways, so I need to get good at using this trackpad, you know? So, but like, yeah, that's huge, because obviously, you know, that's a big thing nowadays is these people that are also brands that like promote other brands.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a huge thing. And it's like kind of a dream that a lot of people would like to live, and a lot of people I think don't pursue it because they just don't think it's possible for them.
Or they don't know what to do. They don't know what direction to take.
The biggest thing is like, I think especially two things. Gary Vaynerchuk, I talked about him earlier. I talk about him all the time. But one thing he said like years ago is he's like, seriously, if you guys have not listened to Gary Vaynerchuk, go listen to him. He's a genius. I would follow that man into a fire. But legit. But he said a long time ago that every company is now a media company. If you do not create media around your brand, around your company,
it's
you
not
are
be as
losing.
Successful.
100% you're losing. You're losing. It doesn't matter how good your product is. People are not discovering it and not finding it because everyone's face is in their phones. And if your product is not in their face, it is not on their body, it is not in their, they're not using their money to spend on you. You have to create content around your stuff.
It's true.
And you also have, the biggest way to do that is through cross promotion. Like you said, these people that are really big and making lots of money is because these companies realize like, holy shit, all these girls around the country really look up to this girl. She's a mom. She has a beautiful husband. They travel all the time. They have this lifestyle that they want. And so they're realizing like, holy shit, we can leverage this person's image. And if my biggest thing with all that is, especially the people that I really look up to and respect, Joe Rogan, Gary Vaynerchuk, Casey Neistat, Tim Ferriss, they are always like promoting stuff too. Like they're like for you, you've like named off all these people that I don't know who they are, but I'm sure that like tons of people really look up to them and know who the heck they're talking about. Like girls listening to this totally know who you're talking about. But like for me, those people, whenever they promote a product, I am always like really positive about what they have to say, because they always say, if there's something that comes through to my door and someone's going to offer me money to promote this, I'm always going to make sure that I endorse it fully, because if I'm backing a product that sucks, then my name is on the line.
Right.
And like, for example, Joe Rogan, he's sponsored by Squarespace on his podcast, and he's like, dude, it's super easy. Like literally, if you know how to drag and drop stuff, if you know how to like copy and paste and drag and drop stuff, like you can make a beautiful website.
I'd be nowhere without Squarespace.
Or like literally, he talks about this company called MeUndies. They make like really comfortable underwear, and I'm literally wearing them right now.
Really?
And they're the best underwear I've ever had.
Cool.
And Joe Rogan literally said that. You know? So there's like these people that like, if you can build up a respect and like a brand around yourself. And I think you've had an awesome start at that. Like seriously, there's people that are, I'm sure, like looking at your blog and stuff and being like, geez, like, you know, I've always wanted to do this, but I've never like actually taken the leap of it, you know? And you got to start somewhere, of course.
Yeah. No, I definitely, if anyone's trying to get me to promote something, I would love for it to be like animal cruelty free or eco-friendly. That's going to be like, that's what I want. Like anything that I endorse, I want it to be something along those lines, because I mean, even the people that I follow, a lot of the makeup or hair products that they use animal test. And if you do your research, it's pretty horrific what they do. It's actually really sad, and I hate thinking about it. But that's why I made small lifestyle changes in my life.
There we go. I like it. Small little changes lead up to big changes. because Jordan Peterson talks about this too. Gosh, I talk about a lot of people. I
Yeah,
reference
you
a lot of
do.
stuff. Jordan Peterson on a recent podcast talked about how if you can improve your life like 0.1%, that might not seem like a lot. Like literally the choice of making your bed or not, or whatever.
It
Just
makes a
doing
huge change.
over the span of a year, especially. He says if you start off at a low point, like if you're like at a low point and you're really depressed or whatever, it's really easy to take a self-assessment and figure out what things you need to change. It's harder if your life is pretty good to like make those small changes because you're probably already doing that kind of stuff. But he's like, it might seem like a small thing, but over the course of a year, those small little changes add up. It's all about the compound effect. Like the only way you can move a mountain is starting by moving a pebble. Like that's the only way. So I think you're doing it.
Thanks.
No problem. Anything else that I feel like we've talked about a lot of stuff. Anything else you want to talk about? Whether you're passionate about or anything? It's okay if you're not.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Cool. So if people want to follow your blog, how can they find it?
Go to viewsfromtheshutter.com.
Why is it called that? Just curious.
Because I'm showcasing everything through my photography. And you have to, think about it. When you're taking a picture, it's basically taking a view from the shutter.
Ooh, see, I'm stupid, and I was thinking of like shutters on a house, like you were looking out of a house, like views from the shutter, like my life into my shutters. I don't know.
Whatever way y'all interpret it, I dig it. So that's actually kind of cool, but
Had you not thought of that?
I did not think about that at all.
There's probably like millions of people out there that were like looking at your blog, like thinking that too. I'm just kidding.
They're going to look at their window shutters and be like, oh my God, Sarah Martinez.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I don't know why I was thinking that. For some reason, when I saw views from the shutter, like the letter V, like at the beginning, made me think of like a villa or something. So I'm like thinking of like, ooh, this like beachy like villa views
I've
from
never
the
been
shutter.
to Bora Bora, Andrew.
No, but I'm just saying. Like,
I'm hoping my work will take me there one day, though.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I also need to get over my plane flight anxiety because I have it really bad.
Ooh, I can help you with that right now.
No.
I can help you with that. What are you scared of?
Like, I don't know, everything. What do you mean?
No, but okay, like think about it. Like what's like scary about a flight? Obviously there's a lot to be scared of, but there's like some things that people are like, oh no, I'm not scared of that, but that could be really scary to someone else. Like what are like the actual things?
Turbulence for sure. And then like literally, so I had a plane flight on the way back from Miami when I went with Graham and Tyler and Zach to oh my God, what was it?
Ultra?
All these it was like
Miami?
it was like basically pre-parties before Ultra.
Oh, Miami Music Week.
Yes.
I got you.
And on the way back, we were like going through a storm. We were like actually in it, and it was raining. And I wasn't sitting next to Tyler or Graham. I was sitting next to some random dude, and I look out my window, and it's just like raindrops and clouds, and I can't see anything. And the turbulence was so bad, like the plane was like dropping a lot, and I was like having like a panic attack. And then on the way to California, anytime we had turbulence, I thought it was going to be like that. And then like we had to go around a storm, and I was just like freaking out. I was so scared. Yeah.
Whoa.
And
Okay, so this is how I look at turbulence. And I hope this makes it better. Because this is how I look at turbulence. Here's the thing. Here's how I always try to look at things. You can always look at things in like a negative way or a positive way, right? So like, let's say this is a crappy example. Actually, it's not that bad. If you're at the airport and your flight is delayed, you can choose to get real mad and like go up to the desk and yell at the people at the desk, right? Or you can be like, okay, cool. Like now I have time to like do something on my computer, or now I have more time to like chill, or now I have time to go to the bathroom, or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
So like you can take a situation that sucks and like make it better all about your mindset, right?
Yeah.
So like when I'm having turbulence on a plane, the way that I think about it is like, okay, this type of stuff happens all the time, right? Storms are something that you can't change. Like storms are going to happen anyways. Clouds are always in the sky, and it's not abnormal for pilots to have to fly through them, right? So the pilots are super skilled and they have expert knowledge. Like if it was that dangerous for a pilot to fly through a storm, anytime there's any sign of a storm in the pathway of the plane, they would be like, no, fuck this, we are not flying. But it's like a totally normal thing that a pilot has to deal with. So like That's just something that you have to trust the pilot. Like, this guy is like an expert dude. He's probably like, this is like from a comedy special I saw recently. He's like, if this dude has like peppery hair and like the longest arm hair you've ever seen, he's gonna be the best pilot ever. Have you ever noticed that? Like, pilots always have that like peppery.
Yeah. They're all like old.
They're all like,
pilots out there
but like if there was like
listening.
a young pilot, I would be way less likely to trust him. You know, like
Oh my God, yeah. You're like, oh my God, he's a noob.
I want like a 55-year-old white dude with salt and pepper hair with like manly ass like arms or something. I don't know. But you know what I mean?
Turbulence crew, these arm
exactly.
hairs,
They're like, this plane is no match for turbulence. You know what I mean? So like, they don't talk about it a lot because they don't want to scare people that like turbulence is normal. But they do say like in the beginning, like, hey, if we experience turbulence, it's normal. Like, it should subside soon, hopefully. You know? But they don't want to freak people out. So the way that I like to look at it is like, this dude knows what's going on, and you know, if I was up there, I'd be freaking out. But this dude has dealt with this literally every day for the past like 30 years or whatever it is of being him being a pilot.
Yeah.
So he's not freaking out, so I'm not gonna freak out. And also, I kind of try to view it as like a ride or something, like a roller coaster. Like, if I was on a roller coaster and this was happening to my body, I'd be like smiling and like happy about it. But like,
I just imagine you in the back of the plane be like, woo!
Yeah. No, but seriously, I try to think of it that way because, like, on one hand, I could be like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, like, all these people. But if you think about it, like, when you're on a plane, you got a row of people in front of you and everyone's heads are, like, going side to side. Isn't that exactly what's happening when you're on a roller coaster?
Yeah, right.
And everyone's, like, stoked? But that's because, like, that's what's supposed to happen and you know what you're signing up for. But when you get on a plane, you're, like, thinking, okay, this is going to be smooth. And, like, planes are already kind of freaky anyways because you're like, whoa, we're in a giant metal tube flying across the world. Like, this is kind of scary.
Yeah.
But, like, and you also see on TV, like, oh, my gosh, there's a plane crash. But,
that was the biggest thing my mom had told me prior. She was like, oh, yeah. She's like, be careful. Turbulence has been really bad. And I was like, what do you mean? And she said that, like, a flight to Chicago and a flight from to Florida, their turbulence was so bad that, like, all
had to
these
land
people,
somewhere else.
I don't know if they had to land somewhere else, but, like, all these people got hurt. Like, someone, like, hit the top of the plane, and, like, it was, like, like, you know how, like, so, you know.
I'm sorry for laughing at that.
No, it's horrible. So when we were on the way back home to Atlanta, there was turbulence happening, and, like, the people were out giving snacks. And I remember, like, I was kind of, like, scared. And Tyler was like, Sarah, like, calm down. Like, look, the lady's still out giving out the snacks. And I thought about what my mom said on the news, how she said that people described coffee up in the air and that the lady went flying. And I was like, oh, my God, that's about to happen. And then something else, like, I don't know, it was weird. Like, a week prior to, like, going on the plane, every single day that my parents were watching the news, something was happening at an airport or something happened with a plane, and I was like, no. Yeah.
And you know what another thing is funny is, like, when you see stuff on the news, you're like, something happened in Atlanta today, and you're thinking like, whatever. But, like, someone that lives in, like, New York will, like, hit you up and be like, yo, are you okay? I saw there's something happening in Atlanta.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
and you're like, bro, chill out. That was, like, way far away from me. But to them, it's like, yo, she's in Atlanta. Like, I wonder if she's okay. You know, like, people will freak out about
almost
that
like
kind of stuff.
the flood in Texas. Like,
yeah, like they think people
family.
think everyone in Texas is in trouble. It's like, no, it's just Houston or whatever it is.
Yeah,
you know?
no, because I have a family member that actually like lives there or whatever, but she's fine.
Yeah, but like, okay, so this is because I have that thing a lot with like planes. I could see how it could be really scary, you know. But that's how I look at it because I'm like, if this was happening in another setting, like a roller coaster, it's kind of similar.
What was
like
weird,
we all have seatbelts on, everything is safe. If something does happen, there's a plan. Like you just have to like realize like you're not in control, and like somebody else that knows way more than you is an expert at this is behind the controls. Thank God, because if I was, we'd all be screwed. But this guy is like, yo, it's cool. Like it's just another storm. It happens every day.
And what was funny is when Tyler went to Puerto Rico with me and my family, that was actually his first plane ride ever.
Whoa.
And so, And so I had been on a plane multiple times, like from New York to Florida, from New York to Georgia, et cetera, et cetera. And I remember him being like, oh, like, is this normal? Like, this is weird. Like, I'm kind of scared. And then I was like, nah, this is nothing. Like, this is great. And then the Miami trip just
wait till the stewardess flies up and hits the ceiling, yo. Then you'll be really geeking out. This is baby shit.
What the fuck?
Dude, when the stewardess hit the ceiling, that's my favorite part. Sorry. If anyone is a stewardess out there and has injured their head due to turbulence, I'm sorry. I'm not making fun of you. It's just kind of funny.
I just imagine you with a velvet blazer on and sunglasses saying that in first class.
Bro, no, I'm the one in the back yelling because it's a roller coaster, remember? No, but for real,
They're like, sir, do you want water and pretzels or no?
Yo, I just thought of the best invention ever.
What?
Okay, why do they not have this? Okay, you know how they have like self-balancing baby cups? Have you ever seen that where like literally the baby can like flip it upside down? Why don't they make plane seats like that so when you have turbulence your seat just stays stationary?
Dude, that'd probably cost them a lot of money and that's
but why don't they have it in first class? Like if you're paying hella bucks, like you should have that.
Well, I thought you don't even really feel that much turbulence when you're up front anyways, or is that wrong?
I think that's a myth. I think the whole plane is moving. I don't know. Could be wrong.
I feel like the back is more bouncy.
Maybe. I don't know. It always freaks me out when you look at the wings and the wings are bouncing.
That doesn't freak me out that much. Because that happens all the time. Like, yeah, that happens all the time. Yeah, stare at the wings for like an hour, dude.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know. No, okay, so humble brag.
Dang, I thought you were being
humble brag right here. I think I've taken 36 flights in the past like 18 months. That's a lot.
Well, is it because you have connecting flights each time?
Most of the time, no. It was because I was
Really?
like last summer I took like 28 flights during the summer because I was living in Spain, so I was like flying everywhere doing fun stuff.
Oh, wait, but how long was each flight? Like an hour?
Sometimes like 2, 3. But yeah, most of them were short. But I've also taken a lot of I like flew out to Las Vegas or flew home from Las Vegas, flew to California this year, I mean, like in the past like 18 months, like I said, that includes like 2 times to Europe. So like some of them were like 9-hour flights, 10-hour flights. Like I've taken like 4, 9 or 10-hour flights in the past like 18 months.
Are the seats comfier and is there more room or no?
No, unless you pay more because they're bitches and they want to make more money off of you.
Well, what about the food?
They do give you like on a long flight, they like, especially on Delta, they feed you like every couple hours. Like I'm going on Delta. Because they know that if like people are eating, they're generally happier. Like that's just the thing. Like if you're munching on some food or whatever, like you're generally much happier.
I'm always happy when I'm eating.
And you get like as much like wine as you want. Like whenever they come around with a drink cart, you can get wine and it doesn't cost money. Yeah, it's dope. But
hell yes!
She's like, I'm getting drunk on a plane.
Yes.
No, but I actually don't like getting drunk on planes because, like, especially on long flights, because if you're like, if you start early and you're like, yo, I'm gonna get wasted, by the time you get to your destination, you're like hungover and you're like, bleh. And then if you decide to drink like in the middle, like towards the end, then when you get to your place and you're trying to like find a taxi, you're like, yo, I'm drunk, dog, I'm trying to get lit. And you're like trying to find like your place.
That's so me. I can't control myself.
I know, right? But you have to be like, I'm gonna be responsible and hydrate. You know what I'm saying? Get some water. Get some sparkling water.
Why sparkling? Does that hydrate you still?
No, it's just more fun because then you're like, I'm being healthy, but I'm going to have a little bubbles, you know, have a little fun.
Oh my God.
No, I actually like sparkling water. I didn't used to like it, but then now that I'm like so...
I like flavored ones. The organic ones are so good.
Now that I'm like so cultured and I've like traveled to like so many places, I just realized like sparkling water... I'm just kidding. I'm being such a douche right now. But seriously, I do like sparkling water now. But yeah, I've taken a lot of flights and I can see how a lot of people can freak out. But it's all about perspective, right? Like, yes, bad things can happen on flights, but also bad things can happen when you're driving on the road. Like someone could hit you. Like there's way more opportunities for you to die. The odds of you like literally dying in a plane crash. Yeah, the odds of you dying in a car crash are way more than dying in a plane crash. But since like you're getting the experience of being in a plane, most people will experience it way less often than getting in a car.
So they're just like
people freak out way less. But like if you lived in like a village where you only like ride bikes and walk, getting in a car might be a freaky experience. Or like if you drive in America where we have really wide roads and everyone follows the laws, and then you go to like Mexico City and everyone's freaking out and speeding past and like no one pays attention to the lines.
No road
you might be like
rules.
geeking out, but for them they're like, yeah, this is just driving. What are you talking about? This is normal.
Right?
You know? Like we are way cautious in America.
So yeah, and that
Especially
was like
driving.
another thing, like when I went to California, like not in a bad way. There was just a lot of people from like other countries, like foreigners. You could tell by their accent, or they would like tell you where they're from. And oh my gosh, I got so like car sick. I would get like a headache really bad because they're just like very aggressive.
Like when you're taking an
and
Uber
very
or something?
fast, and like they brake really hard. Like even on the way to the airport, I was already stressing out because I was like, oh, I really don't want to go on this plane flight. And then on the way to the airport, just the way that this guy was driving, I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to get out of this car.
I feel you on that.
My head hurt so bad. I was like
I feel
stressing
you.
out. I hated it.
Yeah, that sucks when you have a annoying, like, aggressive driver.
But maybe I'm a control freak a little bit.
Maybe. That's possible.
I like driving.
I feel you. I like driving when it's like a short distance, but like long trips, I like get annoyed because I'm like, I would much rather be like doing something with my hands or like doing something beneficial.
Yeah, you are super ADD.
Yeah, definitely. I've never been prescribed anything though, surprisingly, thankfully.
I don't think you need to.
Yeah, I'm a functioning member of society.
Yeah.
And when I drink too much coffee, I get like this. But hey, you know what?
I feel like this is normal level though.
Yeah, I am pretty like crazy a lot of the time.
Are you like this in the morning? If I like woke up at the same time as you in the same area, I'd be like...
Sometimes. Most of the time, I have to take a little bit to get up. But I think that's pretty normal, obviously. Like, it's not like as soon as my eyes open up, I'm like, no, let's ready to go. Woo! Yeah, I'm definitely
That's how
not like
I
that.
imagine you waking
No,
up.
I'm trying to get better at my morning routine, though, because I think the way that you wake up and start your day really says a lot about how you're going to have the rest of your day.
True, because anytime I wake up crabby as hell, I have a really bad day.
And especially if you, because that's kind of a choice, too, because, like, the way that you start your day sets the mood for the day. And so, like, if you have a perfected system of having a good morning and taking the time, because a lot of times the reason why you have a bad morning is because you like wake up late and you're stressed and rushed and you don't have time to eat breakfast and then you're like freaking out. So like instead of like giving yourself 30 minutes to get ready or whatever it might be, for obviously for girls a lot of time.
Give yourself like an hour and 15 minutes.
And also like if you're trying to leave, like for me this is a really bad one, but I'm always like, okay, it takes me 30 minutes to get to work. So if I leave right at 1:30, like if I leave right at 9:30, I'll get there at 10. But chances are, if I aim to leave at 9:30, I really leave at 9:35, and then the traffic's a little worse than I expected.
Yeah, right. And then you end up being 5-10 minutes late because you didn't give yourself kind of like a
So
buffer.
now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna shoot to be out the door by like 9:20, but I don't need to stress because I've got the buffer, you know. And I've been trying to get better at that, even though everyone listening to me that works with me is like, Andrew, you're late like 99% of the time. I'm trying to get better, okay? But that's like a big thing for me is like I have to kind of realistically give myself a buffer. You gotta be better at time
management, basically. But it sounds like you're doing good. I've actually been a lot better with school this year and everything. So I wake up at like 8 in the morning every day. And I hate waking up early. But I don't
mind waking up early. I don't need that much sleep. I feel like if I get like 6 hours, I'm like pretty Gucci.
Sleep. I'm cranky as fuck if I don't get sleep. You can ask Tyler. I'm a bitch if I don't get enough sleep.
That's pretty funny.
And you've never seen me mean. It's pretty bad.
I don't think I have seen you mean.
I would like roast you if I was like cranky.
Ooh. Like roast my appearance or like roast my being?
I guess whatever I felt was right. I don't know.
Ooh.
It could be both.
Maybe like, yo, those shoes are whack, bro. Like, what are those?
Gray is not your color, bro. Ugh.
Gray is everyone's color, though, I feel like.
I was just kidding.
It's pretty hard to roast the gray.
Right?
Gray is not your color.
You pick neutral colors, you imbecile.
Yeah. Okay, I was trying to think of like an obvious thing to roast.
I could have roasted you on that.
Ah, damn. But anyways, jeans, are you serious? Jeans? Like,
I think some snot came out of my nose.
Good. This is the Snotcast. The Andrew Deitch Snotcast.
Name it that instead of Lit But Chill.
Lit But Chill.
Lit But Chill Snotcast.
Also, I have to... okay, I feel like we can wrap this up pretty soon. We were kind of like wrapping it up, and then we got sidetracked again, which is good. But I was going to ask you, how do you officially say your Instagram name? Because
oh my God, I get asked this question all the time.
I've never heard it said out loud, I don't think, and I have a theory on how it's said, and I'm going to ask you if this is real or not.
Good.
Bad Boricua.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like more
That was-
enunciated? This is like the
It's
really
like-
white guy. Bad Boricua.
That's not the worst. Because
okay.
everyone at work, all my friends have always been like, what does that mean? How do you say it? And so
Or is it Bad Borica?
no.
Okay.
I've been told that a lot, and I'm just like, no.
Okay, so I was more right.
You're butchering my name.
Okay,
I'm
so I was
just
more
kidding.
right.
Yes, bad Boricua.
Okay, I did like spice it up. Bad Boricua.
There you go. Perfect.
Bad Boricua.
So everyone's like, what does that mean? So Boricua is basically a slang / old-timey term that Puerto Ricans used to call themselves. So almost like how you say Mexican in Spanish and you're like Mexicano. It's like Boricua or Boricua comes from Borican, and that basically means Puerto Rican in Spanish. And it's like, think of it kind of like what we used to name like our Indian.
Riri.
Yeah. Maybe not like that, but that's kind of like what we used to call like our Indian tribe, if you will.
Okay, I feel you. So it's like, I'm a little bad Boricua.
Basically.
I got you. I like it. I feel like people definitely would mispronounce it all the time, though, but it's very unique.
Yeah.
I like it.
I've always thought of changing it, but I don't know. I
keep
kind of
it.
See, yeah.
See, that's my thing. Is like my last name is like already super hard to spell.
But that's another thing. Like, I feel like if anyone, like even Tyler's Instagram name is his full name, including his middle name, and it's like, there's hardly anyone with the last name Small. There's hardly anyone with the last name Deitch. Like,
yeah. I like how you said it the right way. One of my good friends earlier today was on the phone with me, and they said Deitch, and I was like,
no! Party foul, friends.
I was like, I'm sorry, I thought we were friends.
And I don't know any German. So.
Yeah, and I thought we were friends. No, but yeah. So if people want to follow you on Instagram, Bad Boricua, how do you spell it?
2 D's, BADDBORIQUA.
Ooh, spicy.
Oh my god.
And if people want to go to your blog, Views from the Shutter, is your Views from the Shutter linked in your bio?
And if y'all
are you a real blogger if you're not linked in bio?
Oh, the link is totally in bio. Come on now.
So all you need to know is Bad Boricua, and you'll find Views from the Shutter.
But if you're like cool and you're like, fuck social media, then go to viewsfromtheshutter.com.
You don't even need a social media handle, ladies and gentlemen, to read these amazing blog posts by Sarah. And what else? If people want to ask you questions, Instagram is at the best place.
Yeah, or I mean, this is kind of old school. I have an email that is on
old school. Who uses email?
I know.
What are you from
I
the
just want to send a
1900s?
DM on Instagram. Hello.
What are you from the 1920s?
Shut up.
Sending an email? Ew.
I want to say my email is contact@viewsfromtheshutter.com. So if y'all want to be formal or have any like business inquiries, go ahead and email me there. But y'all are more than welcome to send a message through my website or DM me on Instagram. It doesn't really matter.
Sweet. Very cool. Anything else that you want to talk about?
My mouth is really dry.
Oh, yeah. You've been out of water. Here, I got you, girl. Sorry. I didn't realize you were out of water, and it like subconsciously like lost me.
It's okay.
Stay hydrated out there, folks. Drink your water.
I'm also not drinking from a plastic bottle right now. I'm drinking from my
reusable straw,
reusable tumbler and
fake
straw.
Yeti. That's probably better.
Fake Yeti. It's art.
It's a spaghetti. It's spaghetti.
It's spaghetti. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
It's fake
buy
spaghetti.
Buy a reusable water bottle.
Yeah, buy a reusable water bottle. Don't be drinking this Dasani BS. Sorry.
Andrew's drinking that, but not me.
Yeah, totally not. All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, there we go. That's all I have for you guys today. A couple of things I wanted to point out is number one, remember how I was talking about how when something bad happens, everybody texts you? Well, welcome to my life for the past 24 hours. Still here in the hurricane shelter. I'm very glad for all the people who care about my safety, but as of right now, we are good and waiting here in the shelter for Irma do what she's going to do, I guess. But number 2, Sarah wanted me to clarify her email is contact@viewsfromtheshutter.com. But I edited her voice at the end of the podcast so that she said it the right way, but it sounded a little bit chopped. So I just want to make sure everyone got that if they wanted to reach out to Sarah. Episode 42 is up next with my good friend Owen Lutz. Owen has already been on the episode, or he's been on episode 10 of the podcast, so you can go listen to that one if you want a pre-game for this one. But Owen is an entrepreneur, digital marketer, and an awesome husband. And if you follow me on Facebook, you could have actually watched this one live, since we did a Facebook Live during the whole thing. And it was a really fun episode. That episode will be released very soon, and the audio will be better than the Facebook Live, so stay tuned for that. If you want to support the show, obviously you can go to iTunes and rate it 5 stars, but you can also share it with a friend. That would be super helpful. If you want to follow me, my website is andrewdeitch.com. I have links to all of my social media handles and accounts. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate all of your concerns about me and the hurricane, and hopefully we can ride this one out with minimal damage, but we'll just have to see what happens. But I will see you guys on the other side. Bye.